Python that's one, Python that's two, now Python that's the three. Unapoli meri Nnamdi bu onye du IPOB. O meri wone n'izu mbiro ya. Abakare Mamanda Mura. Unapoli meri Nnamdi win the war. Python that's one, Python that's two, now Python that's the three. Unapoli meri Nnamdi win the war. Python that's one, Python that's two, now Python that's the three. Unapoli meri Nnamdi win the war. Python that's one, Python that's two, now Python that's the three. Unapoli meri Nnamdi win the war. Python that's one, Python that's two, now Python that's the three. Unapoli meri Nnamdi win the war. Python that's one.
Good morning to you. Good afternoon to you. And good evening to you from wherever you are joining us. This is Maiyegun Live. Thank you very much for tuning in and joining us at this moment. Depends on the time you are joining. Please read the caption of the broadcast, the description of the broadcast. Like it, share it, invite your friends, invite your not so friendly friends, and tell everybody that cares to know that Maiyegun today. Nnamdi Kanu appeared in their courts today again, and he did just appear. He appeared by leaving us quotable quotes in front of the injustice Binta Iyako. You should share this broadcast. Thank you, Mutide. So, welcome to the brunch time with Maiyegun. A supposed special edition that is featuring Mazi Nnamdi Kanu's, illegitimate trial in Nigeria. The man that Nigeria kidnapped. The man that Nigeria kidnapped nearly 3 years ago, because they said, in fact, kidnapping him, which actually violates the international treaties that Nigeria is part of, as being one of the reasons why he cannot be tried in Nigeria. I know a lot of money has been expended in the propaganda that makes some of you today, or maybe before now as well, kind of blame your miserable existence. The miserable existence that the criminals in Nigeria has foisted on you. You blame that on Nnamdi Kanu. But it's all right. It's been more than 8 years now that they have been trying to shut him up, shut him down, even kill him. But they have not been able to, other than they have only succeeded in keeping him as a trophy. So today, Nnamdi Kanu appeared in front of the same culpable Binta Iyako, and he kept his composure, he kept his sanity, and he appeared more audacious in front of the state-sponsored trial. And again, they couldn't really try him. So today, Nnamdi Kanu which has become or should I say Nnamdi Kanu's case, which has become a sort of a conduit pipe for those who are in the DSS holding him. They told us that it actually cost them over 500 million naira every time they have to bring Nnamdi Kanu out like that or bring him to their courts. And every time they bring him out, it all ends in stalemate. Stalemate in the sense that they are trying a man that is innocent of all charges, enough that he continued to defeat them in their own court. I have some of you who are pretty much a sworn enemy of Nnamdi Kanu, or sworn enemy of the IPOB, the people you blame for your miserable existence and the failed leadership that you have in Nigeria. Nnamdi Kanu was extraordinarily rendition from Kenya by the Boko Haram government, who believes that Nnamdi Kanu and his IPOB, they are sort of a bit of a threat to the advancement of their Fulani jihadism, the Fulani jihad and the war on the rest of us that they call the infidels. They didn't say that to you before now, and some of you still don't know why they continue to kill the Igbos in Nigeria to cover up what their real intention is. So Nnamdi Kanu can't be tried in Nigeria courts. He got his case up to their Supreme Court, where even the Supreme Court of Nigeria was afraid to actually give justice. They concluded, they agreed that the trial of Nnamdi Kanu is illegal, but they did not have the ball to let him go. So he was sent back to the trial court again. The woman who, for God knows why, or the agenda, why she insisted on sending an innocent man into gallows. They continue to change their charges every now and then, because we all know that the intention is not actually to try him for anything. The intention is to keep him away from the public and possibly kill him slowly. They haven't succeeded in any of this and keeping him away. But every time he appears in their courts, he appears larger than life. So today, before now, the Nigerian criminal system, or the Nigerian criminals that you call your legal system in Nigeria, right? They have been looking for all evidence to kind of, jail Nnamdi Kanu. Unfortunately, they've not been able to get any of those accusations stick. Apart from the trial in the media, as well as the sworn and paid mouthpieces to condemn, to condemn the IPOB of crimes that they didn't commit. Except for those, none of the allegations has been able to be proved in their own courts. None. So Nnamdi Kanu is being tried for what they call treason, treasonable felony. And treasonable felony, they're also trying him for, trying to break away from Nigeria. These two are not, the first one, the second one is not illegal. To want to admit that you want to leave this contraption, you don't want to be part of it anymore. And then they make a move for a referendum and let the people decide if they still want to be part of this contraption or not. The second one, the first one, which is the treasonable felony, is just a make-up charges that they do not have any evidence of. So for those of you who have been following this case, this illegal trial, for years now, it is becoming more exhaustive and embarrassing as well. And this is why sometimes the offer they gave to him, they gave him an offer. The offer was that, could you please just stop the agitation for Biafra just stop it. If you promise us that you're going to stop the agitation and the demand for the referendum of the Biafrans out of the Igbos, especially from Nigeria, you will be allowed to go. They sent their Eastern politicians to talk to him. He didn't budge. They brought in some foreign diplomat or whatever to come and talk to him as well. He did not budge. Then they decided to just keep him by, But Nnamdi Kanu himself is a tough nut to crack. He is a very strong man, like nail. They say it's as strong as a nail, right? It couldn't be bent, it couldn't be broken. It's demanding for just one thing. It said, if you allow the Igbos to have a referendum in Nigeria and the Igbos vote to be part of Nigeria and not break away, he will walk away and you will never see him again. But if you think he's the one that should possibly get the, to stop the agitation for Biafra, that even if you kill him, it is never going to change the demand for the Biafra by the Igbos. In all of this, an innocent man has been locked up and we call him the prisoner of conscience. Today, Oyendu appeared in their court and we will go to that court today, among other things that happened. Ladies and gentlemen, again, this is also a message to those of you who probably gloat, masturbate in public. Every time Nnamdi Kanu's name is mentioned or IPOB is mentioned, you are quick to jump at it, to spread your falsehood and then propaganda and all the lies that they have told you. You are so kind of like quick to jump at those news. Some of you want him, you actually wanted him killed. Some said that they should lock the prison and throw the key away. But the thing is this, right? Nigeria is not better off. They've made your life more miserable. That Nnamdi Kanu, whether Nnamdi Kanu is out there or Nnamdi Kanu is in there, the criminals who are destroying Nigeria, they've made your life more miserable. A lot of you from northern Nigeria that you believed Nnamdi Kanu, they told you Nnamdi Kanu was a threat to you in northern Nigeria. Now you've come to realize that the real threat to you in northern Nigeria are those criminals parading themselves as your leaders in northern Nigeria. So Nnamdi Kanu has been in their detention for over 3 years, so to say now, right? However, your lives have been more horrible. Your region has been more like bloody. Your women, your children have been captured, raped, sold as slaves. Many of you and your villages have been ransacked, destroyed. More of your people are now living in IDP camp. Those who told you Nnamdi Kanu was a threat to Nigeria, they didn't tell you that they are the real threats to your lives. I am going to get to that part this afternoon. But first thing first, the arrival of Nnamdi Kanu in their court is larger than your court, is larger than your system, is almost like bigger than your country as we speak. You may not have to admit it, right? But this is the man you will want gone, but it's not going anywhere.
Talk about out of court settlement, you wouldn't mind. So, has that made any progress towards that regard in terms of
my lawyers have been able to actually tell you that.
But you've been able to meet with them after that particular day.
Have you dealt with this very issue?
No, no.
Which one?
It has to be after court. We can talk about that. We're here for the judicial proceedings.
The political solution now. We are waiting for federal government.
Visit you after the proceedings the last day.
Absolutely. We're here for the judicial proceedings.
Yes. We're here for the.
We can address the other one.
We'll do that later. And we have written a letter to them now. They have not replied.
Okay, no problem.
No, they have not responded. Yes, they have not responded. I met with Attorney General. So what are we doing? The solution was the solution actually no. And most of the journalists take time to go through some of these judgments and then come to the ruling. Go through all the rulings and the judgments. You know we have no case. Thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. I'm a magician. You're a magician. I don't mind. I don't want federal government to me. Not frustrated, so that it will not be a
I don't understand. I have
Bishop, at least I can see you.
Yeah.
Yes.
Even though it's not it's still when it comes to irregularities,
Don't block me. Don't block me. Don't block me.
Careful with what this guy is asking. My lawyer is going to be simple. Lawyers, right? Which one?
It has to be. It has to be after court.
Which one? Which one?
We're here for the judicial process.
The political solution now. We are waiting for federal government.
We're here for the judicial proceedings. We can address the other one.
And we have written a letter to them now. They have not replied. Oh, they have not responded. Yes, they have not responded. I met with Attorney General at so what are we hiding? No. And most of you generally take time to go through some of these documents and then come to the ruling. Look all the rulings on the document. You know, Ma, I gonna want federal government in it. Not for sector, so that you know they are doing.
I don't understand. Yes. Sir?
Maxwell.
People without going to jail and suffering for them. It's normal. But my primary concern is to stop insecurity. And it's that it will stop. Once I come out, it will stop. And they know it. So those keeping me in detention are those that are either benefiting or profiting from this insecurity. That's all there is to it. Okay? What do you think?
And he keep repeating that the insecurity in eastern Nigeria will stop the day I am out of this place. Those who are keeping me here are those who are benefiting or profiting from the insecurity that is now enveloping the eastern part of Nigeria. On the 27th of June, 2021, Boko Haram's government, through Malamu, they wrote a memo to the Interpol in Kenya, and they said they were looking for Nnamdi Kanu, and wherever they see him, they should hold him, because they had an intel that Nnamdi Kanu is in Kenya to meet with the deadly El Shabaab terrorist group in Kenya. Just like Nigeria suffers from Boko Haram's terrorism. Kenyans have been suffering from the terrorism of Al-Shabaab from Somalia. So immediately they got the wind of that memo. Nnamdi Kanu that flew to Kenya, arrived in Kenya, booked himself in a place in Kenya, checked himself into the hospital in Kenya for a quick check, and then drove to the Kenya airport to pick up a friend that also arrived in Kenya around that time, was waylaid, ambushed by the Kenyan police, who grabbed him based on this fake intel from Nigeria. And then they held him, tortured him for straight 7 days. And it all ended as nothing. He wasn't in Kenya to meet anyone or any terror group or what have you. It was a fake intel. But around that time, it has become a diplomatic arrangement, a black op. That's a black operation, a dark operation, which was just to help them grab him. That same memo was not just for Kenya. It was for many other African countries around that time. This was over 3 years ago. So Kenya authority were like, we are so sorry. Even though they gave us this intel that you are here to meet with some terrorists in our country, but we found out that you are not. But we can't judge. Then it was like, okay, now that you have nothing on me, can you please let me go? So well, we are sorry, we can't just let you go. It seems that the Nigerian government is really, really interested in you. In fact, as we speak, there is a private jet from Abuja waiting on the Kenyan airport right now to take you to Nigeria. You are no longer our business anymore, and we are sorry. Whatever it is with you and the Nigerian authority, it's no longer in our hands. That was how Malamu and others organized the extraordinary rendition, which is the kidnapping of Nnamdi Kanu to Nigeria. What did they do? They drugged him, put him in a private jet, and flew him to Abuja. As he was arriving in Abuja, Muritala Nyako, the same woman, was waiting as directed by Malamu. Malamu as well has called the press to his own office as the Attorney General of Nigeria to tell them that yes, we've got him. We've gotten Nnamdi Kanu. Now let me roll it back a bit, just for the sake of those who are interested in knowing the whole truth around this. Apart from the other propaganda you probably have heard, or the one you have been fed many times over and over and over again. IPOB, full meaning of Indigenous People of Biafra, is a non-violent, peaceful self-determination campaign or self-determination advocacy group. Non-violent, peaceful self-determination advocacy group known to more than 180 governments in the world. Talking about 180 countries in the world. However, they were a primary threat, not just to the Fulani terrorists, but to the Igbo politicians, Igbo elites. IPOB was so successful that people were actually walking about with their IPOB membership identification. It's not a secret. It's not a violent. It's not a terror or anything group. The Igbo political class, Igbo governors, Igbo elites, they felt threatened because around that time, the only name in the mouth of more than 80% Igbos, and including non-Igbos who are Biafrans. Here is something you should know. When you hear about Biafra is not just about the Igbos. Biafra also includes those who are also non-Igbos in that same geographical spread beyond the core Igbo land and Igbo-speaking people. That is what the Biafra is, right? So Nnamdi Kanu became the most powerful political figure in eastern part of Nigeria. and beyond. So around that time, the political class felt like this guy actually wields so much influence that if for any reason he should decide to want to go into politics, it will bury majority of them like that without spending a dime. People were offering IPOB their money, their resources, and their lives. Do you know why? Nnamdi Kanu became the first Igbo in a long time to make Igbos believe that whatever conditioning and other stigmatization that Nigeria has placed on them, they are the cause if they accept them. Nnamdi Kanu happened to be the first to remind them that you need to push back. And when you say push back, it is for your own sake and your unborn generation. However, this threat was something that the political class couldn't really take. So they started the plots of cutting him to size. What was he all about? What does he want? Does he want money? Does he want power? They tried to befriend him. They now discovered that he doesn't want any of those. He just wanted the Igbos, right, to be protected, to be defended, and at the same time, to be respected. That if you can do all of this, Nigeria will respect the Igbos beyond what they are currently being offered. But to the political class, we don't even understand what you mean by that. So, it is better we do something now. We need to do something now. That aside, to Nigeria, especially the Fulani oligarch, who always listen to his broadcast every now and then, his message was so powerful that even non-Igbos, they were beginning to kind of subscribe to his messages. They were beginning to question things when he now unleashed his expose on the agenda of the Fulanis, especially the one championed by Bokwari and those around him. That was too much for Nigeria to handle. In fact, a lot of people became so worried that if people begin to take this guy serious, Nigeria is going to break up. And it's not just going to be the Igbos, the Biafrans that will demand that. The rest of Nigeria will actually demand for the breakup of Nigeria. Something has to be done. He told us that the Fulanis were coming. The Fulani terrorists in particular, they are coming. That they will be armed and they will besiege, they will invade our space. They will demand for the control of our space. If we dare question them, they will kill us. And their leaders, they will protect them. These were unimaginable, unbelievable things at the time. There are a lot of people who were like, it's impossible. This guy must be mad. This guy, something is wrong with this guy. They must do something about this guy. So they started pushing the agenda of he's looking for war. He wants to start another war. He went to America to speak to the Undi Igbos in America, where he was so blunt and the same way, just straightforward. There is jihad coming. They are going to kill our people. They are going to massacre our people beyond what you can imagine. And if all of you are here in America, don't do something now, you will not have anywhere to go back to. Nobody believed that could happen. They thought it was just somebody who is mad, who was just trying to, So many people still have that belief to this day, despite the fact that everything he told us, come to pass, everything. They still won't believe that somebody like him is the one telling them. So, for those who are actually behind the agenda, those who are still to bring Ruga to us, those who are going to ask us our land or our life, that we should choose one, those who are still going to tell us that we should learn to live with our killers, they were like, who told this guy? How did he know? Because then it was like unthinkable, unbelievable. You know, like how could, no, that's impossible. They can't try that. Something is wrong with this guy. So it is better is they banked on that and get him away. Take him out of circulation. So who championed that? Igbo politicians. Since the Fulani terrorists, Boko Haram and his gang, since they had their agenda, and the Igbos are threatened, the political class are threatened about Nnamdi Kanu's popularity, so it was easier for them to work together. That was why the first people to proscribe IPOB, the first set of people to call IPOB a terrorist organization, they were not Hausas or Fulanis. They were not Northerners. The first group of people to call IPOB terrorist group, they were the Igbo politicians, Igbo elites. And they started funding the media propaganda to make sure that Nnamdi Kanu is seen as a warmonger, hateful person, is somebody who is spreading hatred. So those who were sponsoring that, they took their memo to Boko Haram to help them. They said, please help us. We are not supporting this guy. We are not with this guy. This guy is only trying to cause trouble. He just wants to lead us to another war. So Boko Haram, that was a silent killer. It was like, oh, really? Do you want me to deal with him? They say, yes, please do something. Help us. If we don't do something, this Nnamdi Kanu will begin to tell his boys. He will begin to tell others to kill us. To the point that even the deadliest people in Eastern Nigeria, I'm talking about, you can say maybe, cultists and some hardened criminals in Eastern Nigeria, they all have respect for Nnamdi Kanu. They all sit to listen to him. It was more or less like, sometimes they just like, give us the order. Nnamdi, give us the order. And he won't, because his agenda is not to cause war. His agenda is not to cause insecurity. His agenda is to awaken the Igbos, their consciousness, and make them ready for what was coming. Right? The politicians were so scared, they ran to Boko Haram. Boko Haram that had an unfinished business with the Eastern Nigeria anyway, when they said there was no winner, no vanquish in Nigeria genocidal war against the Biafrans. So when the Biafran, supposedly Igbo politicians came to him to help them deal with Nnamdi Kanu, it was like, oh, thank you. Yes, we can do that. How do you want it? How? Because I can send the soldiers in. I can send this in. I can send that in. I know some of you who actually today, ignorantly, or probably because of what you have been fed in the media, who hate, you hate Donald Trump because of the way Donald Trump speaks or talks. It was the same Donald Trump who raised the alarm when he met with Boko Haram in Washington. Said to him, hey, Mr. Buhari, why are you killing Christians in Nigeria? Why are you allowing terrorists, jihadists, to be killing Christians in Nigeria? It was the same Donald Trump who invited the escaped or what have you, Chibok girls to America. It was Donald Trump. It was Donald Trump who gave the order that, yes, we are selling you this Tucano jet, but this Tucano jet must never be used in any part of Eastern Nigeria, ever. If you try that, then definitely you'll be violating this agreement. Today, some of you hate him because of what he said and what he's saying and how he's saying things, Abby. It was the same guy, Donald Trump, because of this terrorism in Nigeria. There no fresh terrorism. It was the same Donald Trump who raised an executive order, right? That the Christians in Nigeria and other parts of the world are endangered people and they must be protected by America. All of that dead the moment Donald Trump was removed from office in 4 years ago. That is not even just that, okay? So they went on. They invited the murderer, Boko Haram, to do everything to help them crush IPOB. And so, Malamu, Boko Haram, and others, they declared IPOB a terrorist organization, something that even the American government rejected. American government assigned Fulani terrorists as the 4th deadliest terror group in the whole world. But in Nigeria, they are having field day. They were making laws to kind of give them lands protect them. They still enjoy it today. While IPOB, that never hurt anyone, not a single attack is recorded when Nnamdi Kanu was leading and then it was kind of out there. But guess what? This whole gang up gave Bukwari the license to kill. And of course, today, despite all the news you are hearing about the terrorism in northern part of Nigeria, Eastern Nigeria is the most militarized part of Nigeria today. Eastern Nigeria is the most militarized, terrorized by the supposed agent of Nigeria today, courtesy of the Igbo politicians, Igbo governors, Igbo lawmakers, and the rest of them. Right? So Nnamdi Kanu became a target. He must be removed. He must be killed. IPOB must be neutralized. Everyone associated with that, with the name, they must be slaughtered. And they have been slaughtering them. They have been making them disappear. Right? In the last 6 years, they have killed and denied this whole killing. Nnamdi Kanu was kidnapped from Kenya, especially when he resurfaced, when they attempted to kill him in 2019, and they failed. They were surprised. How did he escape? They cornered him. He was in his house. They killed there more than 28 people who were there. Like you can't arrest him, right? They killed over 28 people. Then he kind of managed to escape them. Resurfaced again in 2019 or so. Resurfaced, and they have been after him since then. So when they captured him, or let me say, when they kidnapped him from Kenya, they brought him to Nigeria like a trophy. But yet, they couldn't prove anything in their own court. So the case got to their Supreme Court. In fact, before it got to their Supreme Court, at their own appeal court, the appeal court said, let's be honest, the process of renditioning him, the process of kidnapping him and bundling him back to Nigeria is so illegal that it has brought a diplomatic shame to Nigeria. And that has actually like rendered any attempt to try him in Nigerian courts impossible. So the least they can do is Nigeria. You hear that one? Nigeria must pay Nnamdi Kanu 1.5 billion naira. Apologize to him. Put him in a private jet and fly him back to Kenya where they got him. Now, if they now want to try him, they will first try and apply for extradition process, which means Nigeria will sue him in Kenya to the Kenyan courts. The Kenyan judges and all that will look at the merit and demerit. If the Kenyan judge now says, yes, you are guilty, you can be you can be extradited to Nigeria. That is when Nigeria can then take him to Nigeria and then try him for anything they want to try him for. Anything apart from that is a pure abuse of legal system or legal process. But Nigeria is a lawless place where Nnamdi Kanu has already been tried in the media and people have already been fed with so much propaganda that they are not asking themselves that if you say somebody committed a crime and you have evidence against him, before you didn't have him, now you have him. How come you are not presenting those evidence now and try him in your own courts? There is none. The primary purpose was to see if they could talk him out of it. When Bukwari couldn't, failed, you know what they are now doing? They are now looking for what they call the political solution. In their political solution, they want Nnamdi Kanu to sign an agreement that if they release him, he will just walk away. He will no longer talk about Biafra, and he will no longer come to Nigeria. If he agrees, they will release him right now. Nnamdi Kanu will walk out of that courtroom right now, right away. But the guy was like, it's not in my hand. Because as what we have suffered, in fact, before that, when Nnamdi Kanu resurfaced, after the attempt to kill him, Nnamdi Kanu now no longer call on the Igbo elite anymore. He no longer asks the Igbos in America or wherever they are anymore to come and defend Igbo land. So one day, sometimes in 2020, Nnamdi Kanu, December 2020, Nnamdi Kanu just released this massive video. Nearly 5,000 young men and women, they were sort of displayed as the new security outfit in Igbo land. By then, the Fulani terrorists, they have already started their killings from the eastern Nigeria to western Nigeria to even the core part of Niger Delta. This time around, Nnamdi Kanu was no longer calling anybody to come and join hands and do this anymore. He set up a security outfit called the Eastern Security Network. When they saw that sent a serious panic into the hearts of the Igbo politicians again. The Igbo elites, they were shocked. How did he manage to put this number? Where did he get all these people? Oh my God. So that means if this guy really wants to take us out, he's not saying he wants to take anybody out. Oh. He's not even threatening anybody, oh. But they felt so threatened when they saw the ESN. And the ESN, which happened to be like the forest rangers. You know those they call the forest ranger. They are not there in the city. You can't find them in towns. They are there in the forest. And they have only one mission. One mission. And that is to neutralize any and every Fulani terror group they see in the forest of Igbo land. How could anybody hate that? How could anyone be against that? That was like, oh, we've had enough. We need to kill this guy now. This is it. We cannot let this, you know. Again, this guy that died in London recently, he was alleged to have been the one that actually provided the private jets they used in renditioning Nnamdi Kanu to Nigeria. The guy died in London, a few months ago. He denied it, though. In fairness, so he said, no, he wasn't the one, he was the liar, that no, he didn't do it, but allegedly, he was the one, as one of the elites and politicians that provided the aircraft they used in kidnapping Nnamdi Kanu from Kenya to Abuja as his own part of the deal. ESN was then going after the Fulani terrorists, disguising as Fulani herdsmen. And around that time, Bokwari was like, no, Malamu and Co. Dead or alive, we need Nnamdi Kanu. Dead or alive. So when they got him from Kenya and brought him to Nigeria, they still couldn't prosecute him until he defeated them in their own court. They now sent it to the Malamu now pleaded with this IP court, please don't do this. We cannot let this guy go. There are so many interests that will be disappointed. Can you please just hold him? Let the Supreme Court decide. They took him to Supreme Court. The Supreme Court judgment, which he was reading to them in court today, partly. Today. On the lower court.
So I was actually surprised that a high court have refused to obey or abide by the determination of a Supreme Court judgment.
And then take the only part that is against him and then refuse to apply the part that is in favor of him.
This cherry picking of what was contained in the Supreme Court judgment is what I'm against. Yes, that's correct. It should be implemented holistically.
Yes.
I'm not against facing any trial. After all, I'm innocent, so they have not been against me. But there cannot be any trial when key sections of the Constitution and a key Supreme Court judgment has been violated by a court of law.
Are you concerned that this means for the case to go back and come back to the court?
This is my 4th year in solitary confinement in detention. The 5th year will not kill me.
Sorry, what if the case is also reassigned back to her? Will you still be comfortable?
It's not going to happen.
No, it won't happen.
It won't happen. It doesn't happen.
It doesn't happen that way. It doesn't happen that way at all.
Thank you very much.
These are the things that the public must understand. Most of you journalists, the legal correspondents, you don't take time to actually study some of these rulings and judgments. Go and study. In fact, I'll give you.
Bring that envelope. Bring the envelope.
Look at it here. Look at it here. Look at it. I'll give it to her because I think she's a bit more.
Give her the Sugar judgment.
Can you hold this for me? I want to let the whole world understand something. Very, very clear. In all this is judgment of the Supreme Court. It made it very clear that even that the impartiality of the judge is questionable. And is here. Where is it? Please do bear with me. It says it here. What is it, page? What is that again? Where it says all these things are online. Is it not page 18? All these things are online. So I suggest that the journalists in this country actually take out time to do some basic research. It's not difficult, just minor research. You will understand the virtuousness, the emptiness of all the charges against me. They kept switching the charges. They said I committed this crime in England, isn't it? Yes. I made a broadcast in England. Yes. And in 9 charges leveled against me, this place where I committed this crime was London, in the United Kingdom. Yes. When my lawyers came to see me, I had a discussion with them about how I'm going to defend myself. I told them that no court in Nigeria has jurisdiction to try me. Because since this offense was committed in England, so they said, it's only a UK court that can give a Nigerian court the authority to proceed, isn't it? Yeah, based on that, they removed London. Based on that, they now amended the charge again and removed London. Location of the broadcast. Location of the broadcast. Contrary to section 196? 174 of the Terrorism Prevention Act 2022. In violation of their own laws. Violation of their own laws. And you want me to stand trial under such circumstances? Is that possible? Nnamdi Kanu to stand trial where these shenanigans are going on? It's not possible. Because the Nigeria of the people stops with me. It cannot happen. It can never happen. That is why we do what we do. That is why I do what I do. I am campaigning for the freedom of my people because of the persecution that we are facing. Yes. It's as simple as that. Nothing more, nothing less.
Yes. Thank you very much.
Simple. I am fighting I'm fighting against the persecution of my people. It's, you can raise all allegations and all trump up charges and the rest of them. Most of them that you cannot even prove in your own courts. Most of them that are actually against your supposed law in your own country. But in the media, they are pushing different narratives. They're asking for political solution. Their own political solution is for the guy to just stop talking about Biafra. And he told them, even if I stop talking about Biafra, at this point, people are more awake now. People are more awake now. The persecution still continues. Here you get. And we know that the persecution of the Igbos in Nigeria is not done to them without the consent of the political class, the Igbo political class. They are the most scared. They are the most scared about this IPOB thing. And that is why he said, those of them who wanted to keep him in their detention, they are doing so because him being there gives them some leverage. They are profiting from it. They are gaining from it. And in order to justify why he has to remain there, they are sponsoring different kind of terror group in Eastern Nigeria. And their media is always ready to tag anything happening in Eastern Nigeria, IPOB. Even when IPOB comes out to say, no, we have nothing to do with this, we will not do this, blah, blah, blah. No, their media will never publish that. Their media in Nigeria will continue to label everything going on in Eastern Nigeria as IPOB this, IPOB that. But when it goes to their courts, they do not have the chance, or they do not have the, the temerity to present the evidence as, okay, IPOB is doing this, and now Nnamdi Kanu ordered them to do it. No way. So the reason why they are keeping him is because they just want him to walk away. And that's how stupid they have become. Him walking away is never going to stop the agitation for Biafra. It is not. It's actually making it even more stronger if you kind of pay attention. So, Muritala Nyako has been told to recuse herself. Recuse yourself from this case. You are biased. You are working for the establishment. And there will never be any real justice or any trial. They want him to come and stand trial. Nnamdi Kanu is telling them that you do not have any case against me. and I'm not going to stand any trial. Nyako said if Nnamdi Kanu is not ready to put up any defense, then she's going to go ahead and then convict him. He said, yeah, go ahead. Just go ahead. I'm not going to put up any defense. Because all of this nonsense you put together in your book, I mean, as your allegations, right? The person that put the whole thing together, where is he today? Where is Bokwari? Where is Malamu? Where are the others? Where is Abakiyari? Where are they? Everything will still fall flat on his face. Oyendu.
Oyendu, IPOB. Omeri Onendizu. Odiya. Abakare. Mama Daora. Unapori Meri Nnamdi. Nnamdi win the war. Python that's 1, Python that's 2. Now Python that's 3. Unapori Meri Nnamdi. Nnamdi win the war. Python that's 1, Python that's 2. Now Python that's 3. Unapori Meri Nnamdi. Nnamdi go Oyedu IPOB. Omeri Onendizu. Mbiroya. Abakare. Mama Daora. Unapori Meri Nnamdi. Nnamdi win the war. Python that's 1, Python that's 2. Now Python that's 3. Unapori Meri Nnamdi. Nnamdi win the war. Python that's 1, Python that's 2. Now Python that's 3. Unapori Meri Nnamdi. Nnamdi win the war. Python that's 1, Python that's 2. Now Python that's 3. Unapori Meri Nnamdi. Nnamdi win the war. Python that's 1, Python that's 2. Now Python that's 3. Unapori Meri Nnamdi. Nnamdi win the war. Python that's 1, Python that's 2. Now Python that's 3. Unapori Meri Nnamdi.
Thank you. So we are going to go to another development. And this time around it is a recent interview granted by Dangote, still talking about a subsidy removal in Nigeria. Despite the fact that Tifnumbu continued to tell all of you that he's removed the subsidy, which he hasn't per se, rather they are paying more. Dangote himself has come out to kind of tell us now that, listen guys, the NNPCL guys are not honest. They are dishonest guys. Number one, they are paying subsidy that is just a make-up number. They have no idea how much oil or fuel consumption you do actually consume in Nigeria. But before I get to that, there is an image of Nnamdi Kanu that I want you to have right there in your head, including those of you that they have been raised to hate the Igbos or to hate him, forgetting the fact that those who want you to hate them, they probably will never want you to see this. 11 years ago.
My name is Nnamdi Kanu, and the reason why we're here today is to protest the killing of innocent women and children, and men for that matter, all over Nigeria, especially in the northern part of Nigeria. We are not happy, we are not pleased with what is happening, and that is why we're here today. As you can see, there are a lot of Nigerians who are protesting about the killing of families, people who are determined to tear the country apart violently, and it is not something that we support. It is not something that we would like to see continue, and we are here today to send a clear message to the Nigerian government through the High Commissioner that what is happening in the country is unacceptable, and we cannot accept it. If that continues, it will lead to the violent situation of the country. There will be no more Nigeria for anyone to go to. There will be no Nigeria for anyone to refer to. In fact, what is happening in Somalia today will be like a tea party. So we cannot allow this nonsense to continue. Something has to be done, and the consequences of the actions of terrorism in Nigeria must be driven home to the people, so that even the terrorists themselves will be able to understand that there is no mileage in where they're going. The only thing they can accomplish is the breakup of Nigeria. If they think that they can cower people getting they can force people to be coerced into a religion which is not theirs, then they are clearly mistaken. We are asking for peace. We are asking for people to get together. We are asking for everybody who loves Nigeria, who is associated with that country, to please prevail upon terrorism in Nigeria so we can bring it to an end. That is why a multitude of Nigerians are gathered here today. Those of us in the UK are determined to work with the government for peace. We are determined to work with the international community for peace. The one thing we cannot stomach is a repeat of 1966. What is happening today in Nigeria was the reason why Nigeria fought a bitter civil war for 3 years between 1967 and 1970. If this continues, there will be another civil war in Nigeria. And this time around, no place will be safe in Nigeria. This time around, nobody will be safe in Nigeria. So it is imperative that everybody who has the interest of the country at heart acts now and immediately to stop this nonsense from continuing.
He did one. And even if you want to hate him, and there's nothing anybody can say to you that will make you change your mind, but just so you know, the people that told you to hate him, they are also the same people who have failed to protect their women, children, elderly, young, old in Nigeria today. Today, the northern Nigeria has become the old shadow of itself, where their people are now living in the dens of kidnappers, where your women and children are being raped and sold as sex slaves by different terror groups that have now emerged from that part of Nigeria. To those of you from the southern part of Nigeria who never for once believed that terrorism will actually be your lot, that you end up selling your properties to pay ransom to the Fulanis from the Sahel, from Futagalon, Abi Futajalon, Futasoro, Abi Futa sadness. Today, they are telling us to choose between our land and our lives. The man they told you to hate, he warned us. Those who told you to hate him, they couldn't protect us. Poverty is now the order of the day. Look at what they have done to all of us now. And they are not stopping. They are not slowing down until they kill all of us. So if your own is to jump around and say, Nnamdi Kanu will rot in jail, it looks more better than some of you who are walking about like a walking corpses, the walking dead. In Nigeria today, that you could barely feed yourselves, that you could barely take care of your own family. A lot of you are just walking, walking corpses, waiting to be slaughtered. Some of you are just waiting as well, okay, to be killed by either the terrorists, the ones in uniform, and the ones not in uniform. So those who told you to hate on them or hate on Nnamdi Kanu, it is no longer a flex. If you come on social media and say he's going to rot in jail, you are free, Abi. Are you actually free? Are you? Are you safe? Nnamdi Kanu is safe. He doesn't have to be worried of getting kidnapped. He won't have to pay any ransom. He actually is a big fish in the pond or the ocean of your criminal leaders. His lawyers have applied severally to the Nigerian courts that Nnamdi Kanu should be transferred to the proper prison, where it will be accorded all of the rights of somebody in prison, which is to see his doctors, see his family, receive visitors, read his own, read books, and indeed practice his religion and all of that. Yeah, but because they said every time they bring Nnamdi Kanu out from the DSS detention, they said it cost Nigeria 500 million naira. Yes, you heard me right. It cost Nigeria 500 million naira to bring Nnamdi Kanu out to court. How much do you think your life is worth? Your life is worth nothing to these guys. They can snap it anytime. But yet, the man you think, you can masturbate in public. You can gloat in public. He will die in prison. They leave him there. Let him die in prison. You are a prisoner without a prison wall. You are living a life of a prisoner in your own supposed country. So it is not a flex. To those of you nuisance, that possibly still living in that past. You are still living in that past, right? It is not a flex, all right? To say, Nnamdi Kanu, let him die there. I thought I should add that before we go to the next thing. The people, the people that have kept you in bondage. You are buying a liter of petroleum for 1,000 naira, a bag of rice for over 100,000 naira. You can barely feed yourselves. A lot of you are dying from preventable diseases or the preventable sicknesses. Things that you could actually still live for. You are dying because you cannot afford it. Nigeria is now the poverty capital of the world. Nigeria is also one of the most terrorized people in the world. Thank you to those who claim to be your leaders. And they are not slowing down. They are not. Here, Dangote, part of the interview granted to Bloomberg yesterday. I don't know, they published it yesterday. I don't know if it was yesterday, right? Listen.
So the government wants to get rid of subsidies. Will your refinery help with that?
Well, the government, subsidy is a very sensitive issue. If, I believe the problem is not only the subsidy, it is problem that, once you are subsidizing something, then people will be blotting the numbers and government will end up paying what they are not supposed to be paying. But this, our refinery, will bring quite a lot of issues out there. It will show the real consumption of Nigeria. Because, nobody can tell you. Some people say it's 60 million liters of gasoline per day. Some say, no, it's less. But right now, if you look at it, by us producing, okay, everything can be counted.
Right.
All he wants. Good morning to you once again. Good afternoon to you. And good evening to you from wherever you are joining us. It is Maiyegun live. Again. It is going to be a long night. And I plead with you to please read the caption, read the description of this broadcast fast, right? Digest it, okay? Like it, share it. Invite your friends, invite your not so friendly friends. Tell them that Maiyegun is back. This afternoon, when Nnamdi Kanu appeared in front of the useless Binta Nyako. At the end of the whole thing, she ended up recusing herself from the case, a very useless woman. So useless that you can easily tell those who have destroyed or been part of those who have destroyed the justice system in that contraption. They are called judicial bandits. One of them kissed the dust this afternoon. Her name is Binta Nyako. There are other developments, right? Read the caption, read the description. We shall be going through them one after the other. But today, again, I am going to do my best to make sure that I cover everything in time, and then you would have your own chance of contributing to the whole conversation tonight. So we are going to start from aftermath of the court appearance for Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, the prisoner of conscience, the innocent man that the criminals in Nigeria decided to put in detention, so afraid to try him. They are offering him all the goodies that they usually offer people that they believe are like them. Politicians in Nigeria believe that everybody is looking for something. And Nnamdi Kanu seems to have destroyed that notion. And that makes them more maddest. However, to the lily liver cowards, the voluntary slaves from that contraption called Nigeria, they are so surprised that Nnamdi Kanu is not taking the offer they are giving him. Some even believe that, why is he fighting for the people? Like the people you are fighting for don't seem to appreciate it, because in their life, They've never done anything significant. And if they have a chance, as you know, Nigeria, that a majority of those who condemn injustice, most of those who kind of scream oppression, majority of them that raise their hands up to say they opposes corruption. It is not because they hated all those things. They don't hate corruption. They don't hate oppression. They do not hate injustice. Most of the time, they are just not happy that they are the ones. I mean, they are not the ones benefiting from the injustice, benefiting from the oppression, benefiting from the corruption. So it's so hard for them to see that, to actually see any man or woman stand so upright and say, this is my belief, and I am ready to die for my belief. They're like, why would you die? It's so strange to some of them. In the contraption called Nigeria, a man like Nnamdi Kanu is so rare. He is even an Igbo man. Something that a lot of them believe, that an Igbo man is a businessman. He doesn't do anything for free. Shame. He has been there in their locker room. They've offered him almost everything, and he has rejected everything. All he wants, like Prince Jejeman will say on this platform, the first option for all sensible, genuine Biafran, the first option is Biafra. Second option is Biafra. Third option is Biafra. Fourth option is Biafra. The only option is Biafra or death. After the court sitting today, Nyako recused herself. And this was the report.
Do you agree with his position?
Yes, with what happened in open court today, we tried our best as his legal team to advert the attention of the court, call the attention of the court to the infirmities in the proceedings. The constitutional infirmities, very serious, very grievous constitutional infirmities that are militating against preparing him for fair trial. In particular, the breach, the flagrant breach of the Section 36 rights to fair hearing, which were not being properly addressed by the court. We wanted those infirmities to be removed, those features, those things that are making it impossible for this trial to proceed fairly, to be removed before Kanu could be put to trial. But my lord, the court was very reluctant to do that, and the court was blinded by some reasons in its wisdom to proceed with the trial when Nnamdi Kanu has not been given the opportunity with his counsel, team of counsel, to prepare him for this trial at the detention facility, DSA detention facility. So we felt this is unconstitutional, but the court was blinding itself to that. So our client had no choice than to express himself. That is his constitutional right. And remember that historically the Supreme Court had questioned the impartiality of this very court. So today it appeared that the Supreme Court was right after all.
But if you look at what Justice Binta said, she said that the part of the judgment where Mr. Kanu anchored his decision or his outburst in support had to recuse herself was a contributory judgment, not the lead judgment. That judgment was made by Justice Emmanuel Abuja, and that is what he's basing his decision for her to recuse herself. So what is your take on that?
Well, she did not say that on the record. When we applied for restoration of the bail, we made the argument that this is part of the lead judgment. The opposing counsel made a contrary argument. She never made a ruling on that. She dodged the question. She never made a ruling. What she said in open court today was a surprise to us. The issue whether the judgment, that part of the judgment was an obiter dictum, or whether it was part of the lead judgment or whatever, they raised the issue for the prosecution. We addressed it. When she made her ruling, she dodged the issue. Rather, she went abroad to say that she had previously forfeited the bonds that protected the bail that he had given to him, and that forfeiture was a question before the Court of Appeal, which also was in error. So we went on appeal. If she had addressed this issue on the record, that it wasn't part of the lead judgment, we would have taken it head on.
Okay, lastly, sir, remember your client has always complained that he had health challenges, heart, and thereafter. And now that the court has said that this case will be sent back to the CJ.
Mm-hmm.
Don't you think it will take time? Because Justice Binta said that the CJ is unavoidably absent from the court. So the time before the court.
Charges leveled against me. This place where I committed this crime was London, in the United Kingdom. When my lawyers came to see me, I had a discussion with them about how I'm going to defend myself.
They remove it.
I told them that no court in Nigeria has jurisdiction to try me.
They removed that London.
Because since this offense was committed in England, so they said, it's only a UK court that can give a Nigerian court the authority to proceed, isn't it?
Yeah. Based on that, they removed London.
Based on that, they now amended the charge again and removed London.
Location of the broadcast.
Location of the broadcast. Contrary to section 196,
174 of the Terrorism Prevention Act 2022.
in violation of their own laws. In violation of their own laws. And you want me to stand trial under such circumstances? Is that possible? Nnamdi Kanu to stand trial where these shenanigans are going on? It's not possible.
Yes, the persecution against the Igbos. The persecution.
No, let them give them a fresh one, not the ones.
No.
We have many of that.
Mr. Kanu, last one last question. One last question. Reference to what she has asked earlier. Just one of the senior judges at this court.
And I have respect and love for her. She knows.
What if this case comes back to her? Because
It is not possible. It's not possible. This persecution of the Igbo people, this orchestrated, almost global persecution of the people, stops with me. It cannot happen. Very well. It can never happen. That is why we do what we do. That is why I do what I do. I am campaigning for the freedom of my people because of the persecution that we are facing.
Yes.
It's as simple as that. Nothing more, nothing less.
Yes. The rules change when it comes to us.
Yendu. Oh, yedu, IPOB.
Oh, yedu, IPOB. O meriwo n'Ndizu, Odiyo ya, Abakare, Mama Dawura, Unabori Meri Nnamdi win the war. Python that's one, Python that's two, now Python that's a three. Unabori Meri Nnamdi win the war. Python that's one, Python that's two, now Python that's a three. Unabori Meri Nnamdi. Nnamdi bụ onye du IPOB, o meriwo n'Ndizu, ndiro ya Abakare, Mama Dawura, unu abụghị meri Nnamdi win the war. Python that's one, Python that's two, now Python that's a three. Unu abụghị meri Nnamdi win the war. Python that's one, Python that's two, now Python that's a three. Unu abụghị meri Nnamdi win the war. Python that's one, Python that's two, now Python that's a three. Unu abụghị meri Nnamdi win the war. Python that's one, Python that's two, now Python that's a three. Unu abụghị meri Nnamdi win the war. Python that's one, Python that's two, now Python that's a three. Unu abụghị meri Nnamdi.
And in that case, the whole trial they are trying to push fell flat because the Supreme Court said Nigeria court shouldn't have revoked his bail when the Nigerian army chooses to go and kill him before he appears in court again. So therefore, he kind of ran for his life, or else they would have killed him. And nobody will be held responsible. So you cannot revoke his bail condition, his bail, based on that. And therefore, Unyako can go to hell. So we see how this goes again. Yeah. And when they are tired, they would have to let him go. Let's go forward. This morning, there is this report or reaction rather, of Peter Obi to what the APC, Egbekegbe, what they have been up to, especially in Edo, the rigging that took place in Edo. It is so similar to what they did to him, Obi. You see the way APC always write their results. They will write themselves winner, They will write PDP next. They will now put Labour Party as far third. So that when people they discuss how to go to court or anything, right? They will say, which will be your results? The way you want to go to court. What you score. So in that regard, Peter Obi penned or put a pen to paper where he said, all these things you own they do, it will catch up with you. It's just going to be a matter of time. Here, what happened over the weekend in the name of election in Edo State does not in any way represent the democratic process we chose as a method of electing our political leadership. Instead, it was a blatant example of a state capture and continued gross undermining of our democratic process and values. Any nation whose leadership recruitment process is so fatally flawed is doomed, and we are all seeing the effects in our country. I urge those in authority not to allow this situation to stand or depend on it to remain in power. As a country, we have invested significantly in IRF and BVAS, and they must be allowed to function and used properly in order to free our electoral process from the massive falsification that has plagued it and worsening, to the agencies and individuals being used to undermine our democracy simply because they hold positions of authority. Please remember that your time in office is not eternal. The society that you are helping to destroy today will eventually take a revenge on you tomorrow. To the lecturers and other complicit in perpetuating this charade, you must reflect deeply on the roles you are playing in damaging the very foundation of our democracy. The damage you are causing today will inevitably take revenge on you tomorrow and affect your children in the future. This kind of action has no place in a true democracy. That is why I have always maintained that today's politics is not about capturing power, but about saving the country and making it work for everyone, regardless of their background. I remain committed to building a new and truly democratic Nigeria, which I insist is very possible. These were the words of Peter Obi. It is like a subtle warning, and he is very right. You see, you have lecturers involved in falsification of election results. It has gotten to a stage whereby 90% of those who actually register to participate in your charade election, in your elections, they never participated. It has eroded the faith of the people in the process. You have what is called the state capture. Who is going to be the highest rigger? Let the best rigger win. Now, you are producing criminals as governors, as lawmakers, and Nigeria is already showing the symptoms of a failed country. So, the more you keep up with this, the closer and sooner your total destruction will come. And those of you who are perpetuating it as well, for whatever you are being offered today, he said it, your children are going to live in the country you are creating. Yes, your children will live in that contraption. And it will catch up with everybody, as it is doing right now. You have incompetent criminals who believe that they could loot the treasury of the state, and you say to seize power. They call it politics. It's not politics. It is criminal. It will catch up. But you see, the known criminals themselves, they don't give a damn. The first person to respond was Adamu Oshiomole. In his TV appearance, he was there to say, who is Peter Obi? It's not even from our state. I just got to see, or, kind of see it better now. You see all these kill Igbo people, kill Yoruba people, kill this one, kill that one, that suddenly took over the social media in the last few months. They were actually orchestrated because of this Edo election. And the people pushing it are no other than APC. Egbekegbe. They speak Edo. They live for Edo. You are not Edo. You are not original this. You are usurper. In fact, there were actually campaign among the supposed APC supporters where they said For Peter Obi to come to Edo State to campaign for Labour Party, it was actually a subtle agenda of Igbo people that want to take over Edo State. It's the Igbo people, they want to take over Edo State. That's why Peter Obi came to campaign, and we will not agree that. These Igbo people, they love, So it's all coming together now. Indeed. And listen to this. Adamu Oshiomole.
Because I'm not ready to
No, when
you are my guest.
No, we have a conversation.
You are my guest. We can have a conversation.
Yeah.
But let me quickly ask
nice to your guest.
I am nice to you. But this is what Peter Obi said. And I'd like to get your view on his own
From
view.
Anambra home, he saw what was happening, right? Go on.
He said, what happened over the weekend in the name of election in Edo State does not in any way represent the democratic process we chose as a method of electing our political leadership. Instead, it was a blatant example of state capture and continued gross undermining of our democratic process and values. Any nation whose leadership recruitment process is so fatally flawed is doomed, and we are all seeing the effect in our country. I urge those in authority not to allow this situation to stand or depend on it to remain in power. How do you react to that?
Simple. I watch, check the records. The candidate of the Labour Party, of which Obi is probably their leader, it doesn't seem to be interested in party. He's more of obedient, not party. He's not an institutional person. All right? Their candidate, unfortunately, well, we can't say it's unfortunate because, that is the will of the people. Report says that he lost his unit to PDP, not to us. So if a candidate lost his unit to PDP, not to APC, maybe his attack will be on PDP. But I also noticed that when they came for a rally in Benin, he didn't wait till the end of the rally. Or if he waited, at a point, he disappeared from the screen. But I don't want to really talk about Peter Obi. He's my good friend. We were governors at about the same time. I invited him to commissions of project for me in Edo State, and he did. We are good friends. It's just like the nature of politics. Sometimes, I don't want to throw away all my friendship or to throw away all my goodwill. But the truth of the matter is, from his sitting or from his hometown in Oka or in Lagos or wherever he was speaking from, certainly he was not in Benin. That is how he arrived at that conclusion. But in any case, I'm not surprised. Don't forget that only last year, Obi and Atiku were both claiming that they won. Two people claiming ownership of one phone. Two people. Oh, no, it's my own. Oh, it's my own. So, I believe one of them must be lying, at least. And yet, they were entertained.
Let's finalize on this note, and perhaps in less than 60 seconds, that's what I'm being told that we have. Going forward in this election, when back and forth, there are a lot of forces who don't agree with the outcome of the election. Where does your party go from here? Legitimacy is a very critical factor here, don't you think?
Those who elected Senator Monday Upewolo are Edo people. Obi is not from Edo State. The PDP chairman is not from Edo State. Aswa Ighodalo is a occasional visiting Edo State person. He doesn't live in Edo. He operates from Procedural Hotel. He doesn't live in his village. He doesn't campaign. I campaign from my village. I campaign from my house. You say you saw people in my house yesterday. Let him do press conference at his residence to show evidence that he resides with the people. He's a visitor. And I told you people earlier that Edo people will not elect a visitor again. Visitors from Lagos. And then when they get to Edo, they say, Edo not be Lagos. Meanwhile, they made all their money one way or the other in Lagos. And then they think it's a political good statement to make. Oh, Edo not be Lagos. All right, Edo not be Lagos. But you don't understand Edo because you live in Lagos. Edo people will elect a visitor. He's a visiting Edo guy.
So that's your statement about the issue of legitimacy.
The election was won by Senator Upewolo. So he has the mandate of the people. And that is what you call legitimacy. It is when you don't have the mandate. Or if you know the guy, you have just told me that this man is weak, is this. And yet he was able to rig out these boardroom people, this director with all the money that they command, with all the wealth that they have. a poor man like Monday is able to buy them out.
The allegations of federal might that is being
federal might. It is say federal might. Good. Federal government was there in 20.
Oshiomoli, he said more. All right. And I actually want you to listen to them together and we can react to them all together. Here is other part of the interview.
Because I'm not ready to
No, when I'm
my guest.
We have a conversation.
You are my guest. We can have a conversation.
Yeah.
But let me quickly
ask nice to your guest.
I am nice to you. But this is what Peter Obi said. And I'd like to get your view.
In fact, I will just leave it at that, okay? Because it seems like an extension of the one I wanted to share with you earlier. So, yeah, there are other reactions too, especially from a different, from like a third-party reaction. Here is what the Yiaga, they call themselves, had to say about the whole charade.
In this election, Yiaga Africa deployed its process and results verification for transparency methodology, the PRVT. And what the methodology does is we look at a random sample of polling units, deploy stationary observers who stay at the polling units, from the commencement to the end of the process. And because we deploy to a statistically representative sample of polling units, we are able to release what we call estimates, the watching the votes estimates for the vote share that each candidate is supposed to get. This election is the 17th governorship election that we've deployed this methodology. Right. And we've also deployed it for 2 presidential elections in 2019 and in 2023, and they were all deployed successfully. What happened in the Edo election, for instance, we get results from the polling units, those sampled polling units. And because we apply statistical principles and technology, we are able to provide information that represents what happens in other polling units. For this election, the process of accreditation, voting, and recording of results at the polling unit complied substantially with the procedure. In other words, those processes were seamless and they were transparent. The challenge with this election was that when the results came to the collation center, in those 4 local governments that we highlighted, those results were manipulated, they were altered, and so some of the vote shares fell outside the margin. And this was actually across board. So the real issue with the election is the collation process. And so results were altered. So a classic example, if you look at Oredo, for instance, there was a 10% increase in the results that was announced for the party that won Oredo. And those results, based on our analysis, clearly shows that they were deducted, from one of the parties and then added. So there were a lot of deductions and additions at the collation level. But at the polling unit level, the results and the votes that were recorded, they were recorded correctly. It was when it came to the polling units. The second point was in places like IPOB, where the collation was disrupted. The guidelines is very clear that the stages of collation, from ward to local government and then to state. But what happened was that in IPOB, the collation was not done at the local government level, even though there was no provocation, because we had, in all the 18 local governments, we had local government collation observers who were there to observe this process. And you clearly see that there was a lack of transparency. And that is why those inconsistencies were spotted, because the beauty of the PRVT methodology is if in the course of the entire results management value chain, any results have been altered, the PVT is able to detect it because we rely on the granular results that comes from the polling. In this election.
So, like I said, we're just going to be doing this sharp, all right? So here is the first reaction of Asue himself, speaking to the BBC.
Disappointed. The day started rather on an even canter, and I thought we probably would have a good, transparent, and effective conduct of elections. But as the day wore on, and I saw how things were unfolding, it became clear that the elections were not going to be freely and fairly held. So I'm very disappointed. It's beginning to look like we're having probably the worst election in the history of our country being conducted in Edo State. We saw yesterday certain moves that seem to obviously suggest a blatant attempt to manipulate the results of the elections. You know, many things come up suddenly. You see results being thrown up where the total results are much more than the voters that have been accredited. A great example is a place like in Ikpobaha in Ologbo in Ikpobaha. The total voters that were accredited for yesterday's election was 156. The results declared gives APC 2,110 and PDP 57. And we have like 50 such units where such results have been thrown up, where we have the total number of votes far outstripping people that came to accredit for the election. That's impossible. If 100 people accredit, then either you have 100 or less voting. It's preposterous. And you know the irony of the whole thing, where all of this happened, APC ended up winning in all of those places. So, you know, we see clear manipulation. And, you know, I've always said this, you know, manipulation cannot happen except there is complicity and connivance by INEC, period. You know, so that's why I say that the way I see the direction of these elections, it's clear that it probably will be the worst elections in the history of Nigeria, the way it's going. If INEC doesn't turn a new leaf, we can't accept injustice. We can't accept injustice. We're peace-loving people in the PDP, the party, my running mate and myself. We're peace-loving people. We're gentlemen. You know, if the elections had been fairly and freely conducted, then we'll take the outcome of the elections. But when you see this crass manipulation, this subversion of the will of the people of Edo State, it's untenable, it's unacceptable, totally unacceptable. You know, people can't just use what they think are the powers that they have. We truly are powers from God and from the people of Nigeria, and use those powers to subvert, undermine, intimidate, and punish the people of the country. It's not acceptable. And these are the things that are the beginnings of bigger problems for countries. People are not students of history. People don't love their country. They don't even love themselves. They don't even love themselves, because if there is a big problem in all of this, you know, it affects everybody. There's nobody that will say because you are the purveyor of the crime, you will escape. The governor went into the INEC office to demand a meeting with the REC to ask why they'd stopped the collation of the votes. And there was nothing being done. There was nothing being said. And he went in, and after he had finished, he met with the DIG police. And after they finished, he left. It was because of his intervention that INEC issued a statement that they will continue collation at 10 a.m. So there's no such, it's not true. How will they match out a sitting governor from INEC office? Who is the REC compared to a sitting governor? Apart from this so-called powers. If you go to INEC office, you would think it's one of the branch offices of APC, or one of their campaign offices. So it's possible that the APC thugs that were there were saying that, but definitely security officials will say that. And the security officials, in fairness to them, were very courteous. The governor confirmed this. The security officials were there were a number of security officers there that had even worked directly with the governor before. So that didn't come from security officers. That could only have come from the APC thugs. And you see, APC has taken over all of the institutions that govern this electoral process, which is truly sad. As far as the people of Edo State were concerned, they were going through a normal process of electing a new government. Disappointed.
Sorry, I swear. Sorry that it didn't go your way, because you all have benefited from a compromised system, and indeed you all committed electoral fraud. It's just unfortunate that you could have been declared winner if they allowed your election to count, or sorry, the votes to count. It won't. And that's the purpose. Immediately after that, the likes of Akpabiole and others who have been residing in the state for like about 2 days, day before the election, the day of the election, even the day after as well, made this statement, remember?
I believe that this is a turning point in the politics of Edo. This is a turning point in the politics of Edo State. The will of God has been done today. And I regard this day as a day of liberation.
God's will.
Yes, I believe strongly that God's will has been done today in Edo State. And I also want you to know that the will of God for people is nothing but progress, happiness, joy, and prosperity. I believe strongly that the election of Edo, though very tense at the beginning, the outcome is a reflection of the confidence that Nigerians have continued to express in President Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu, that his administration has made a mess on the ground, but they are doing their best to see how they can turn around the politics of Nigeria. I want to tell you to remain patient and continue to support the president, support his administration, and know that yes, even like what has happened in Edo now, is a clear reflection of what will happen in Ondo in the next few days of God. So I want to congratulate my brother, Senator Povolo, and congratulate the comrade governor and comrade senator for finally seeing the back of Obaseki. I know it was a worrisome thing for him. And I also want to recognize especially the stakeholders of Edo for their unflinching support for Governor. Starting from the DG of the campaign, my brother Senator Orugide, and then most especially the Deputy Governor of Edo State today, who may be the one to hand over to you. I'm talking about Deputy Governor Tribal. Yes, of course. And then you see the Minister of Niger Delta is also here. My president and all the other, even so many governors have been here from the APC extraction. And then, of course, the chairman.
Because Oga wanted this by fire, by force. Oga wanted Edo, not whatever the Edo people want. No. This is what Oga wants, and it must be done. They had about 8 governors of APC there. They had ministers. They had the Senate presidents, Akpabiole, and on like that. And they did deliver. They also led themselves to the Oba's palace, where Oshiomole was lying on the Oba. And the Oba had to correct him. Listen, no, I never rejected your man when you brought him here, Obaseki, right? So this happened in the palace of Oba of Benin.
Your Royal Majesty, I would like to remain on my knees. First, to apologize to Your Majesty for my poor judgment. When, in spite of your clear advice to the contrary, I stubbornly and wrongly supported a man who I thought, being a big man, would respect the tradition, the custom, the energy, the brilliance, the creativity, and the respect of tradition by any loving big man and immediately against people. When I presented the opportunity against your advance, I have lived this game for all of 8 years. And tonight I am pleased to say that era has gone to an end.
You said against my advice. That's why I thought that you would
I apologize. I repeat that.
You know, when you introduce Obaseki as your successor, I didn't say anything. I have
I apologize.
You know you talk. You know, I said I would say so much here. I told them, and I'm trying to restrain myself because anything that will bring any difficulty for my son and performing that because I want to avoid it. But I have to correct it when you say against my advice. I never said anything against your pastor when you brought him. You will recall, this one is your witness when you came to introduce it to me. You talked about to do much against my father's choice, which you shredded to pieces. And you went on, you shredded.
Jehovah quickly cleared this. No, don't. No, I didn't object to. You brought him here. I gave you my blessing. Don't now come here and say against my advice. That wasn't the case. Then the man that orchestrated the whole thing, the genie in the bottle, the man that Obaseki or Bob Donkey ran to twice to save him, and twice he chased him away. With a wiki, had his own celebration too, just so you know. Fear you, hey, let's leave that. So, other reactions that followed of what happened in Edo is when the supposed former deputy governor, Philip Shahibu, jammed Rufai of Arise on this same matter. This also happened.
We're not even partisan. These policies and the kind of way he followed it up also infiltrated them.
Deputy Governor Shahibu, you know, it's easy to say these things because you are winning. You've won today. Congratulations, like you have on your cap of
not about winning.
You know, no, let me clarify some things because there are so many things that you said too that are not completely correct. Just like what you were saying that he did it for Adams Oshiomhole first. No, you joined him in fighting Adams Oshiomhole first. It's because things went south between both of you.
Yes.
That's why you're not saying he did it. No, you joined him. You went against Oshiomhole yourself.
Yes.
So you and you said people bought votes. You too, you cannot say that you people did not buy votes in your ward, or was it free? People just voted for you because they like your face. No, it doesn't happen like that in Nigeria.
I didn't buy votes in my ward.
I want to.
I didn't buy votes in my ward.
I know you did. You will say that. Will you tell me on TV that you bought votes in your ward? You will not say now. But the people will just look at you and say, "No, oh, we like Mr. Shriver so much."
Your crew. Rufai, my unit was a flashpoint. Rufai, my unit was a flashpoint, and all your media people, 80% of the day they were sitting with me.
Mr. Shriver, I've not asked my question. Mr. Shriver, I do not expect you to confirm to me that you bought votes in your ward or you gave anybody. I do not expect you, so there's no point trying to justify it. But we know how politics runs in Nigeria. How do you explain? Because the PDP has come out to say what was on the IREV is different from the eventual result. How would you explain that the INEC IREV has a different result from the eventual result? And how would you explain the cases some of them cited of accredited voters of over 300 or something, and the APC got over 2,000 votes? So these were the shenanigans too the PDP is claiming that you people did. And when I say you people, all of you, all the political parties participate in one way or the other, I will tell you people the truth, and you know me. So how would you explain that the IREV result is different from the eventual declaration?
First, I am not INEC, and I'm hearing from you that IREM number is different from the eventual vote. That is actually not my take to answer because I'm not INEC. But let me tell you one thing. The Obaseki that I've worked with, that I know, Obaseki will never accept defeat. Obaseki only accept, if it's not winning, he will not accept. That is the kind of person. And he has shown in his character. Obaseki, there are 92 court orders that Obaseki has refused to obey. But anyone that favors him, that is the one he implements. So somebody like that will not obey judgment, somebody like that will never obey court order. But any order that favors him, he obeys. Even when an election like this takes place, obviously he will not accept. Because that is the character that he is, him and as well. That is the character they are. So the issue of IREM and the number is for INEC to explain, because you are telling me, I'm not sure, I don't know. But what I know, obviously, is that I was in my polling unit from morning till night, and I voted, and it was counted, and the vote counted, because the result that was declared in my unit that everybody saw being counted is the result that I saw INEC announce. So if anything like that happened, I don't know, because what I can tell you is that in my unit, in my ward, in my local government, the result that was declared at the polling unit, at the collation center, both at the ward and local government is what was announced in Benin. So that is all I can tell you.
Deputy Governor Charade, suffer, una politicians, so una go still make up tomorrow. This man also put his head out for you when he needed to do it to make you part of his running mate. So after both of you betrayed the APC then. So I know I'm not in your matter, but suffer. That's what I'm just saying. Suffer.
I'll leave it at that, right? So these are the passive sort of actions or reactions that followed what happened in Edo. As for PDP, right? Here is what their supposed Maiyegun had to say.
Political stability of our dear nation that I address you today. From unfolding political events in the country, the latest being the brazen rigging of the Saturday, September 21st, 2024 Edo State Governorship election by APC in connivance with government control agencies. It's clear that our democracy is really under threat. As you know, and widely reported in all segments of the media, the 2024 Edo State Governorship election, which was barefacedly compromised by the APC in collusion with unpatriotic security operatives and heavily procured INEC officials who viciously trampled on the votes of the people in defiance of the law and total disregard to the sovereign will of the people of Edo State. You may recall that the PDP has on several occasions alerted you people of this sinister plot by the APC to subvert the election and the roles allegedly being played by the AIG Zone 7 in person of Bennett Egwe and Edo State Commissioner of Police, and the appointment of a known apologist of the APC and supporter, Dr. Onoa, at the Edo State Resident Electoral Commission. Several demands by our party, both in written to the IG and INEC chairman for redeployment of all these officers, which was tendered to them before the advent of this election because of the suspicion and conspiracy to rig this election, which was actually given sign for this election, was neglected completely. Nigerians and the world watch in horror as the APC compromised security operatives and thugs unleashed terror, harassed, arrested, and detained PDP members and supporters, forced siege mentality before and on election day, and paved the way for its agents and procured INEC officials to manipulate the ballot process, substitute genuine results from the polling units with fictitious figures, and transfer the victory clearly won by our candidate, Asue Ighodalo, to the defeated APC candidate. As Nigeria
is an APC stooge, by the way. That guy is with the weakest, placeholder. I think that's what you call him. So that the fact that with the wicked cannot be punished or suspended or dismissed from PDP, now because of that guy, just so you know. And the guy is talking about, I swear, here is his own message to Edo people. It's like my final message to you, people of Edo.
My good people of Edo State, first, in all things, we must give thanks to God Almighty. We give thanks to God for the gift of life, the gift of health, and for the love you all have shown me. I want to extend my heartfelt gratitude to each and every one of you who has stood by us on this incredible journey. I would like to particularly thank the good people of Edo State who defied the rains, the intimidation, the threats of violence, harassment, arrests, and financial inducements to cast their votes for us overwhelmingly last Saturday, 21st September 2024. You are the true heroes of our democracy, and your sacrifices for a better Edo State will never be forgotten. My aspiration was not born out of the love for power, but a genuine desire to serve the people and create a pathway to prosperity for all in Edo State. I traveled through every ward and every local government area, sharing this message and engaging in meaningful conversations with you. To all our beloved supporters, we thank you for believing in this vision, for your countless hours of dedication, and for every conversation you've had with people about this cause. Together, we ran a great campaign, and your overwhelming support was evident in the ballots before our progress was unjustly halted on September 21st, 2024 by people who do not mean well for you or for our state. That day will forever be etched in our history as one of our darkest moments, marked by the brazen theft of our mandate and the shameful subversion of the will of the people. Yet, in the face of this challenge, we must not be discouraged. The illusory triumph of evil over good is only temporary. Our journey towards a prosperous Edo State does not end here. It is just beginning. Let us remain engaged, committed, and united in our collective resolve to create a pathway for prosperity for all in Edo State. You did not abandon me during our campaign, and I promise you, by the grace of God Almighty, that as we face a daunting and uncertain future together, I will not abandon you. God Almighty bless the people of Edo State, God bless the people of Nigeria, and I thank you all.
The more you look, the less you see.
Abai is just trying to sound pretty much like, you know what? I mean, you're not going to hear from him again. I can promise you that for free. Because the way things work in Nigeria is this, there is no court that's going to return him. Who is that person that is going to give that judgment to say they rigged Edo? People who have already done all the homework up to the judicial bandit level. Anyway, away from Edo, let's go to Abuja, where a lot of things happened today. It all started with them rolling out some supposed approval from Tifnumbu's FEC, Federal Executive Council meeting in Abuja. Should we go to Abuja first or go to Zamfara first? I think we should go to Abuja first, where according to Wiki, the FEC has approved that they should build a brand new 40 brand new houses for judges, according to Tifnumbu. Oh yeah, through Wiki, that they will build 40 new houses for judges in Abuja, in the choice, expensive area of Abuja, and other things that they said was approved. Here is Wiki.
We all know the effort of the present government to improve an infrastructure of FCT and its environs, particularly the satellite towns. Prior to this period, we know the level of decay of the infrastructure in FCT, and in most cases, government had never thought it wise to take development to the satellite towns. One of the things we did, or the Federal Council did today, is to approve ratify the approval of the termination of the contract for the development of Maitama 2 district. Before now, you know that this is an area that are allocated to various citizens. What we have there is not less than 1,700 allottees before this government came in, and contracts were awarded the sum of 184 billion for provision of infrastructure in this Maitama 2. It has been a problem. Of course, the thinking of Mr. President is, look, if we're able to develop this, it will reduce the housing deficit. So many people will go and develop their properties. And unfortunately, after the award of this contract, the contractor was not found to be on the site. Of course, you may not also blame him. From what we saw, he was never mobilized. And the reality of the time that it has taken over 1 year. So we sought for the termination of the contract and start a new process of procurement, and then provide enough fund for this infrastructure development to take place in Maitama. I can assure you, now that we have gotten the ratification of the Mr. President termination, we'll move quickly to start the procurement process to make sure that we develop a Maitama 2. Again, it has been Mr. President's renewable agenda that we should also take development to the satellite towns. As I speak to you today, I know before December, we'll be able to commission not less than 75 kilometers of roads. But Mr. President had also said we must continue to give hope and give infrastructure to satellite towns. The areas covered or approved by the Federal Council is construction of Pai Gomani Road in Kwale Area Council, Aguma Palace / Radio Nigeria / New Market Road in Gwagwalada Area Council, and then Oshafa War College Road, Oshafa Village Roads, and all other connected roads in Oshafa in Buhari Area Council. So these are the 3 area councils that council approved
that we have to make sure that infrastructure is given. There's also an approval for award of contracts for the development of Arterial Road N5 of Bafemi-Awolowo Way. That is from Life Camp Junction to Ring Road 3. So many people who have been saying that, look, we must have to do something to see that that place is decongested so that we'll have things free for ourselves. So, and this contract is to be carried out by Julius Berger, and it will be completed in 16, 17 months' time. Again, the important, Mr. President, attaches to the judiciary. Mr. President finds it very difficult how judges and justices will be living in rented houses and hotel apartments. That is not safe for judiciary. That is not convenient for them to do their work. And so Mr. President directed that the FCT, through the FCDA, should immediately construct 40 number judges and justices quarters at Katakbe district. Now what it means is that out of these 40, FCT High Court, which is like the FCT Court, will have 20. The Federal High Court will have 10, and the Court of Appeal will have 10. And this will be completed in 15 months' time. Of course, we believe that there's no need to give a long contract that will give you from time to time variation upon variation. There's no variation, and Council has said that clearly. Again, Council approved the construction of access road from Arterial Road N11 in Mabuchi to Judges' Quarters. In essence, all the roads within the Judges' Quarters will have to be constructed. Mr. President has also given contract, the Federal Council, sorry, when I say Mr. President, Federal Council also approved the construction of access road from Ring Road 1 by N16, Shehu Shagari Way, also to Judges' Quarters. And this, of course, will be not more than 15 months. Mr. President, also, of course, you know, sometime this year, we flagged off the construction of the Abuja division of the Court of Appeal. If you are there, you will know that there was no access road at all. And so today, Council approved a full development of what they call Collector Road, CN8, and other connecting roads to have access to the Court of Appeal, Abuja division. So these are the approvals made.
Approvals, contracts for this road, for that road, and then judges' quarters, houses. Oh, you should listen to that of Wale Idun. His own too. This one is not reading. I think it's just like its normal usual Bulaba, Balablu, jargons, this and that, okay? Quickly, Wale Idun.
With Mr. President's decision to start today's Federal Executive Council with a report and allocation of time to discuss the unfortunate, the sad, and very devastating disaster, flood disaster in Borno State. We all agreed and felt that it was extremely appropriate that, led by Mr. President, we focused on, first of all, the sad loss of life and expressing condolences to the relatives who had lost loved ones, as well, of course, as looking to encourage, support, and definitely empathize with those whose lives had been very severely disrupted and negatively affected by the disaster, which, although they had survived, they were facing a very difficult aftermath. Having said that, and we have heard from my colleagues, Honorable Minister for Water Resources, Honorable Minister for Agriculture, their own perspective and details of what happened. But at the end of that important discussion, which we started our meeting with, Mr. President did direct that a disaster relief fund be set up. Now we know we do have the NEMA relief fund. We even have, that was from about 1998, 1999, that was set up. And we do have the, we do also have the flood relief fund that was set up around 2012. But I think Mr. President's view is that we need, in this era of climate change, of climate events, as well as the fact that from time to time there will be, no matter the prevention measures, there will be disasters that will occur, that we need to build greater resilience in the form of a substantial disaster relief fund, separate from the agencies that actually intervene physically. This will focus on the financing and bringing together the funding from across the spectrum, the federal, the subnational levels, even the local levels, and clearly the private sector, and even international philanthropic organizations, a best-in-class fund that would be led by top corporate governance, including leadership by the private sector at an appropriate level, probably heading it, in order to build for Nigeria a resilient response that is of adequate size, scale, and quality, and able to respond in such occurrences as we have had in Borno and elsewhere before. And we, no matter how we prepare and pray against it, we also know that this will happen from time to time, and so we need to be ready. In addition, importantly, the Economic Stabilization Bill proposal, draft bill, was passed by the Federal Executive Council, and that essentially basically puts in place specific measures, specific draft laws and specific policies in the fiscal area, in the tax area, in order to improve the overall economic environment. It's essentially based on the output of the Fiscal Policy and Tax Reform Committee that was set up by Mr. President in August 2023, and which, under the chairmanship of Mr. Taiwo Oyedele, and in order to give, in order to implement those different recommendations, what has been required is changes to various laws, and as a package, the Federal Executive Council did pass for onward transmission to the National Assembly economic stabilization bills. It contains, for example, items that change the Foreign Exchange Act, give greater liquidity, and encourage the use of electronic rather than cash means, for example.
Okay, I'll save you the rest. Before all of them slip off, Maiyegun, please take him off the screen. We can't really understand what he's saying. Those are the dredge, the worst from Yoruba land. They are called managed to select, to handle the economy of Nigeria, and they have done a great job by destroying it further. Those are not the best from the Yoruba land. We do have reigning, productive, resourceful Yorubas that could do a better. Even Obasanjo, we seen a soldier, right, was able to discover brainiacs from across Nigeria that at least managed to regig that Nigeria for you. Where a drug dealer, a drug addict, certificate forger, who only need yes men, those are the best it could find for you. And I am a Yoruba man, and I apologize to all of you, okay, that person does not represent the Yorubas. They represent the dredge, the worst from Yoruba land. And then by the time they are done with Nigeria economy, Togo economy will be better than what you have right now. Yeah, you heard me right. They are not done. This afternoon, Kadobi Oduduwa Emefiole was also, he also made some announcements too on the economy. To fight inflation, of course, they have increased the interest rate. And this is what you have to say about that. Hang on. Before that, this was Oduduwa Emefiole Kadobi. So from the record, in the last 1 year, since Kadobi became the central bank governor of Nigeria, Nigeria Naira has lost more than half of its value. Again, this, what do you call it? This coconut head, this empty pangolo head, is also not representing, it doesn't represent the educated, enlightened, economists and resourceful Yorubas. By all means, it doesn't represent us. It represents the dredge of Yoruba. I'm talking about the waste of Yoruba land that worked with a Kolu in Lagos. And their only achievement is to what? Is to corner whatever it is they could get it from the hardworking people of Lagos. Okay? So now they are in charge of Nigeria. They have destroyed Nigeria. And within a year, Nigeria Naira lost more than half of its value. And it's going to lose more. By the time they are done, tissue paper and Naira, tissue paper will have more value than Nigeria Naira. So I apologize to you. Sorry about that. I shouldn't be, because it's not my fault. Don't be me appointed. But I just want you to know that the same Yoruba land gave you Obasanjo. Abi? I mean, well, Obasanjo was from Yoruba land. When the Nigeria economy was in the gutters, Obasanjo cancelled Nigeria debt, improved Nigeria economy, gave Nigeria Naira value. And today, his successors, they've made worse of it. Abi? Kadobi Oduduwa Emefiole. It won't make any sense. So, now make I warn you ahead. Though. The Central Bank of Nigeria, the Central Bank Governor of Nigeria, as appointed by Drogit Ifnumbu.
Yes, with the past 1 year. Now, first and foremost, we came into a very loose money supply situation. Between 2015 and 2023, the past 8 years, witnessed an incredible amount of pumping of liquidity into the system. In 2015, money supply was about 19 trillion naira. And in 2023, it was 54 trillion naira. I mean, that's a huge increase. A very, very huge increase. And a substantial amount of that, as I'm sure you all know, was through means. Okay, so essentially printing of money resulted in a huge amount of money chasing, because this is the implication, chasing the same amount of goods, a relatively small amount of goods. So I think that context is very, very, very important to have. And to put it in another way, while the economy, on average, was growing at 1.2% during that time, money supply was growing at 12.6%. Okay, so you can see the inherent distortion there. Then also, let's not forget that we had a situation where global oil prices collapsed, okay, in 2015. Okay, and with that collapse also, we shouldn't forget, unfortunately, and it's just a fact of life, that Nigeria is a monolithic economy. Okay, so you're dependent for everything on oil. And as a result of the collapse in oil prices, foreign exchange began to dwindle, and it's important to understand that within this period, the response to that was really lesser foreign exchange and fixing of foreign exchange prices. And that also harmed the economy to no end. In other words, you had a situation where the response to excess money supply, little foreign exchange available, was to fix exchange rates, okay, which now resulted in multiple exchange rates and arbitrage opportunities between one and the other, okay. And of course, this in itself resulted in a backlog of foreign exchange, because this is where all these things have come from. And sometimes people forget that this is the context in which we came into the saddle of the central bank, okay. So it's just what it is. Real sector at the time were obviously unable to access foreign exchange, and things really got difficult, and inflation continued to spike. So in that situation, we came into the saddle, and of course, a number of things happened. One of which, of course, is with the background I've given you, attempt to harmonize the multiple exchange rates, and I believe that clearly has brought about the results it has, including the fact that you no longer have these multiple windows, and including the fact that exchange rate is a lot more flexible and people are more able to transact their businesses, okay, through willing buyer, willing seller, as opposed to a situation where multiple exchange rates discourages or does not enable that to happen. So clearly that has helped in no small way. And of course, the moderation, the multiple hike in exchange rates, the multiple hike in interest rates have also helped to moderate the inflation that I spoke about earlier, have helped to moderate the inflation. Don't forget that here was a situation where exchange rate was really running at an incredible pace, and people had lost confidence in the currency, or beginning to lose confidence in the currency. So we believe that these multiple hikes have helped for people to now begin to take a different look at their currency, and there's a greater incentive to hold Naira as opposed to a situation that we had. Did
you make any sense of that? It simply means it took Bokwari 8 years to print 27 trillion. 8 years. And it took Bokwari 8 years to move the exchange rate from 199 naira to $1. 8 years. It took them 8 years to move it to 710 naira to $1. But it's now taken Oduduwa Emefiole, Kadobi, and Tifnumbu 1 year to print 27 trillion. And they have taken the exchange rates from 710 naira to 1,660 naira to $1. At the finish, one way is commenting on Facebook, you enemy of progress. Can you progress? You know, some of you you are easily, you can easily just jump in and say you are enemy of progress. What progress are you making? Nigeria to finish. And today, he announced that they are increasing the interest rate again.
Inflation, the upside risk remained flooding, hike in energy prices, scarcity of PMS, and most importantly, security in farming communities. Considering the weight of food in the CPI basket, members recognize the efforts of the federal government in addressing insecurity in the farming communities and stress the need to remain steadfast. In addition, the MPC applauded the ongoing efforts of the federal government of Nigeria to bridge the supply deficit through duty-free import window for food commodities. The committee expressed optimism that the lifting of refined petroleum products from Dangote refinery will moderate transportation costs and significantly support the easing of food price pressures in the short to medium term. This is also expected to moderate foreign exchange demand for importation of refined petroleum products, with a positive spillover on external reserve and improvement in the overall balance of payment position.
Did you make any sense of that? Dangote refinery, the flooding, the yen, Central Bank Governor. Progressive. You are making progress in reverse. Retrogression. You are retrogressing. You think you are progressing. That way that said that the enemy of progress. Can you progress the make? The enemy progressing, not these incompetent criminals who have mortgaged the future of yours and that of your children. By the time they are done,
Church. I'm from family worship.
Family worship. Where do you stay?
I'm living in Papi.
Okay, let me just say this thing. Do you have church around you in Papi?
Yes. I get even branch there, but I follow one of my brother in the Gemoto.
The truth of the matter is this thing. Every Sunday when I finish from church, I come here to buy things, and I've given you money more than 3 times.
Okay. Nice.
So why every Sunday? That's what I'm just saying.
Okay,
it's condition. It's better you stay close to your house then, so that you will save yourself.
Thank you.
You understand?
Yeah.
It is well with you.
Thank you.
God bless you. But I'm sorry I don't have change.
By the time they are done with you, I will be here. Maiyegun, I will be here. Those of you Olori Brukus that were calling me enemy of progress under Bokwari, where is Bokwari now? Where is your progress? Destroyed your economy, turned you to fine barras, social media fine barra, street fine barra, and you still think people like us who are trying to actually show you what they are doing to you, we are the enemy of your progress, are the enemy of your retrogression. By the time they are done. You see, those of you who still get small money, we still feel able to buy things. You will see. It's not a cost, it's not anything. Because the people you see that devil that they say is against your destiny, and then they wear suits so that they speak grammar on your TV every now and then. And you, foolishly, you are praying for them. Make if Numbu succeed. I am still yet to see those winners who usually come on to MaiyegunsDiary Politico. And they will tell me, may Nigeria succeed? May President Bokwari succeed? All the enemy of Nigeria, God will put them to shame. And that is the old process. When the economy, when they strangulate you, finish. You see, by the time you get to 2026, some of you could don't sell yourselves. You could put yourself out and say, buy complete human being. You can use me for money ritual. Just give me gari and food, man, and just shop. You will see. And then you can come around if you see have money to buy data to come and tell me that I'm your enemy of progress. Progress, what progress are you making? Hey, we need to pray for that. We need to wish Nigeria well. Right? Keep it up. Okay? So, I am not a terrorist sponsor. I do not sponsor terrorism. And I think that is what a normal terrorist sponsor would say. I am not a terrorist sponsor. No, that sounded like what a terrorist sponsor would say. I'm talking about Patawale. Patawale, who's the successor in Zamfara, accused of harboring terrorists. And in fact, he is the godfather of terrorists, the bandits. He has spoken. And according to him, no, I am not a terrorist sponsor. An interview, he granted the channel's television again. I have a copy. Let's go listen. Maybe you can tell me, how does a terrorist sponsor sound like or not?
They doesn't like me because I go after them. All of them.
Are they politicians?
Yes. I go after them. And let me remember you. When I was a governor, I'm the only governor that swear to Holy Quran that I have no hand or connections with banditry, or I am not happy with what is happening. Do you understand? I swear with a Holy Quran that if I am happy with what is happening, or if I am part of it, or if I know those that are doing it, or if I'm collaborating with them, I say God should not give me a 1 second grace. I'm the only one. And I challenge all the politicians that time, including General Aluguso, that they should swear to Holy Quran. None of them, including Dauda, none of them can do this oath, can take this oath. None of them can take the oath. But I take it. Why? Because I know my mind. I know I have a clean heart. And not even that, including all my councillors, commissioners, chairmen, I will not give you appointment. You have to take that oath. Go and check. The record is there. And up till tomorrow, I am challenging those people that they should do that oath. They should take the oath up till tomorrow. I am challenging them. They should take the oath that I have taken.
So does it mean if they have not taken that oath,
yes,
for instance, the current government and the commissioners,
they are part of it?
Are you suggesting they have? Oh, they are part of the terrorism?
Let them take the oath with the Holy Quran, as I have done that openly with all the imams in the Zamfara. They are there. I've taken this oath, and I challenge them since that time. None of them, up till tomorrow, are taking this oath. But I cannot give you a commissionership or advisor or any appointment. You have to take that oath. Go and ask. The record is there. That's what people are talking about. Is it because I'm... You know, sometimes some things, it is not even good for someone to respond. Because to me, it's nothing. It is inappropriate for me as a minister, I want to respond to such kind of issues. But because people with their devilish ideas, they are talking anyhow. People doesn't fear God. They think that this is the end of it. I was a governor before. Today, am I a governor? I'm not a governor now. You know? So tomorrow, those that on that seat, they will not be there.
Part of the allegation, what they're circulating is that while you were a governor, that you embezzled 250 billion naira.
If the person who say it is crazy, I know you are not a crazy. For my 4 years, I did not even receive that money.
How much did you receive?
Go ask, the record is there, and the indices are in the Ministry of Finance, Federal Ministry of Finance, or Accountant General of the Federation. It is on record. And let me tell you, I don't understand why I pity Dauda. I pity him. Because it's like you don't even know where to start. I thought for now he should concentrate on giving good governance to the people of Zamfara State. I thought for now he should concentrate on the issue of insecurity. I thought for now he should realize that governance is a continuous process. Because if he is in that seat today, tomorrow he will be not. I thought he would realize that. But how can someone come and be telling lies? A whole governor to come and deceive the public.
What lie has he told?
Yeah, how can he said unaccounted 240 billion? Before, he said 70 billion. Now he said 240 billion. But it is not a surprise to me. If you know who is Dauda, it's not a surprise. Because this is someone that he cannot even know what he's talking about. For example now, the whole state, there was a time that the allocation from federal government to the state government, I got just 1.9 billion, while my salary is about 2.3 billion. The only 2 times that I got about 6.4 billion for both state and local government, I think it's just 2 times for the period of my 4 years.
You didn't get up to 150 or 240 billion.
That's what I was telling you. For a month, it was only 2 times I got about 6.something billion for both state and local government. Now go and ask today. There's a time the state government alone got 28 billion per month. And go and ask. Now, the state government is not getting less than 18 billion per month. Well, during my time, I just got 1.9 billion. Highest 3 billion in my time. I have a record here with me. And let me tell you, when I saw what he was talking about, I just pity him. Because it shows that he is not a leader. Is it only Zamfara? The Sokoto governor defeated a PDP governor. Have you ever heard him talking anything about that governor? Dauda spent 2 years complaining. Every day you saw him in television, he's complaining about Bello Matole. I think even if he sleeps, he is dreaming of me. I think. Did
you do anything to him while you were in a governor to frustrate whatever he was doing?
Yeah, the only thing I know, he deviously bring some things for me which I rejected that. I've said it before.
Did you say dubious?
Yeah, he deviously brought something to me which I rejected it when I was a governor. Let me tell you the history. When I was a governor, Dauda brought a proposal for fertilizer because he had a fertilizer blending plan in Zamfara State. So being an indigen, in good faith, I accepted his proposal that he's going to supply us fertilizer of that season. I gave him an intent letter, thinking that he is going to supply the fertilizer because he come as like he have the fertilizer on the ground. He begged me. I then decided that so many people introduced some contractors to me, but because I thought he is from the state, and I thought he have the capacity to supply this fertilizer. So I gave him the intent letter. If you go and ask the Commissioner of Finance, at that time, my Commissioner of Finance, they will call that person more than 200 times per day. More than 200 times, asking him payment. And before, he come as like a big boy that he have this fertilizer and he want to supply to the government. So because what I know him very well. So I said, okay, let him go and bring just 10 trucks of the fertilizer. These 10 trucks take us 7 months. He cannot bring it. At the end, he come with the papers of a bank. I have them here. That I shall sign for him his certificate of his company. He want to go and take facility for a bank. I said, which facility again? He said, he want to take the facility so that he can be able to supply us the fertilizer. From there, I said, okay. So what he is doing to design, he want to do it to me. I said, all right, I will deal with him. So I said, okay. Is it the certificate? He said, yes. I said, okay, go and pay the money to the Ministry of Lands. Go and ask my commissioner is still around. Dauda cannot be able to pay the money for him to get his certificate of that landed property of his fertilizer blending plan.
It's just making up stories. You know that. They are politicians, right? He has to kind of use the opportunity to kind of make his own allegation too. so that tomorrow that Dauda will say something too. I want with a terrorist. The allegation that Dauda made was that this guy, which is true, when he was the governor of Zamfara, right? I remember very well. Indeed, when terrorists, Fulani terrorists, they were being hosted inside the government house, and one of them was even bragging that nobody can arrest him, that he willingly came here today because the governor invited him. This guy he actually declared, he said he spent 980 million naira on repentant Fulani terrorists. And the people of Zamfara, who probably are watching, some of them should be watching, they will remember when this guy gave Hilux boxes, trucks to bandits, they call them bandits, or these terrorists, as repentant terrorists in Zamfara then. I don't know what went wrong, or probably when he lost, he decided to unleash them on the state again. Well, that is that. The next one, talking about the Fulani. Have you met a Fulani that changed from Islam to Christianity? Well, one of them is on social media. And when I saw him, I was like, okay, my friends would like to see this guy. If you don't mind, okay, here.
To do this video to appreciate every one of you, most especially for the kind word of encouragement, for the prayers, for the support. It is something that I can never take it for granted. The Lord bless you all in the name of Jesus. Sorry, here's another thing that I want to address. Please, brothers, like I've said in my previous video, please, let's just do away with all the people that are criticizing me or that are insulting me just because I'm a Muslim convert to Christianity. Please, remember, I am not the first Muslim convert to Christianity, and I will never be the last. So, but the reason why my own case happened to be different is because of the missions outreaches that I'm doing. It's because I usually travel to rural villages with my team, preaching the gospel of our Lord and Savior Jesus Christ to those who are yet to know Christ, or to those fellow Fulani people in the bush. One thing that these people that are busy insulting me again and again, they did not know is this. Do you all know that our Fulanis that we are preaching the gospel to them, when they succeeded in knowing Christ, by God's grace, there will be no crime. All this crime that they have been committing here and there, if they succeeded in knowing Christ, if they succeeded in accepting Christ as their personal Lord and Savior, definitely all this crime that they have been committing will reduce. That's the only thing that can change them. To all of them, they're thinking that we are spoiling Fulanis, or we are doing, or let me say, we are destroying the name of the Fulanis. No, we are not destroying the name of the Fulanis. Now, here's a serious question that I want to ask. Between us that are preaching the gospel to them, and between us that are preaching the gospel to them and to those that are holding weapons, kidnapping people, killing people here and there, who are the people that are spoiling the name of the Fulanis? So one thing that these people that are busy insulting me again and again, they did not know is this. When our Fulani brothers get to know Christ, by God's grace, there will be no more crime. Yes, all this crime that they'll be committing here and there will no longer be there. Remember, it is only the gospel that is going to change them. So that's why, please, just allow them, let them insult me as much as they want. The reason why I say so is this. Even our Lord and Savior Jesus Christ, he was persecuted, he was criticized, he was insulted. Then who am I? Who am I not to be insulted or not to be persecuted or not to be criticized? So please, allow them. Remember, in my last video I said that just pray for them. Just pray for them, because they are doing what they are doing out of ignorance. They did not know what they are doing. Just say a word of prayer for them and leave them. That's just it. But you see, when they insult me and you respond, you have given them the go ahead to continue because they are getting your attention. Please, just leave them. Like I've said, I'm not the first Fulani Muslim convert to Christianity, and I will never be the last. So I know why my own case happened to be different. Yes, it's because of the outreaches that we are doing, because to them, I am spoiling the Fulanis. just because God has given me the grace of converting them from their evil ways. They are turning to Christ. That's why these people are angry with me. So please just feel free and leave them. Remember, like I said in my last video, the battle is not ours. The battle is not ours. Allow the owner of the battle to fight the battle himself. Let not be taking the battle that is not our own into our hands, please. Please. One thing for sure, believers, that I know is this. If God is for us, no one can be against us. That's what the Bible tells us, and I strongly believe with it. So that's why I usually say that if God decided to take me away, no physician on earth can preserve my life. And then whatever happened to me, I believe not it is God that permits it. So nothing can ever happen to me in life if God did not permit it. So allow them to insult me as much as they want. One thing I know for sure is this: when I come out, nobody will gonna see the insult on my body that this so person insulted me. And by the way, I count it an honor to be insulted because of the name of Christ Jesus. Yes, I count it an honor. Whenever I see their insults because I am a Christian, or because I'm a Christian because of the name of Christ Jesus, I count it an honor. It used to bring this joy within me because it is Christ who found me worthy to be insulted because of him. So please allow them, let them continue with what they're doing, what they feel that is good for them. Let them continue, please. So this thing has never in any way discouraged me or made me to feel angry or to feel discouraged because these people have insulted me or they have said all sorts of nasty things against me. No. Whenever they do that, I usually used to feel happy within me because it is Christ who found me worthy to be insulted because of him. So that's why I always count it an honor to be insulted because of the name of Christ Jesus. Remember, there are a lot of believers out there, but nobody, or it's not everybody that have the opportunity to be insulted because of the name of Christ Jesus. So you have the opportunity to be insulted because of the name of the Lord, be rejoiced, because the Bible said that we should be rejoiced because great is our reward in heaven. So all that these people are doing, they are doing it out of ignorance. They are doing it out of ignorance. And somebody that is doing something out of ignorance, you don't have to take that person serious. You don't have to take that person serious. Why? Because the person is doing it out of ignorance.
The more you look, the less you see.
You say all of now you are guilty as well. I know that Nigeria has damaged your trust, your trust capacity. But once in a while, I think we should all kind of remember that we used to see, before Bukwari, we used to have the Fulanis that lives among us. Either those ones who are begging, and they are speaking Yoruba very fluently. They speak Igbo very fluently. They sing in Yoruba. There were Fulanis, they will sing Fuji. They will sing Waka. They will sing properly. There were Fulanis. Until we started seeing the Fulanis with guns, AK-47, kidnapping and killing. I know it seems like it's like a donkey years ago. Come on. We used to have them within us until these ones they brought in from the Sahel. The jihadists that are kidnapping and killing people, carrying AK-47 everywhere. When I was growing up, we used to call them Bororos. Bororo. And they will speak your language very fluently to your own admiration that you will give them money. But these days, every time all of you hear Fulani, the first thing that comes to your head is the Fulani killers, kidnappers, and on and on. Nigeria has really done us number. And no thanks to Bukwari. So I just thought I should show you that. Even though I may not be able to help your trust issue anymore. All of us don't get trust problem right now. And I can read your comments. And you are just proving him right. It's not just the other Fulanis who are the murderers that are abusing him. Even your trust issue, like immediately you saw that video like this, your PTSD just kicked in. Who is this one? Oh, this one they look for money. Oh, this one, what is it with Jesus Christ? As if to say we didn't exist with them in that same contraption. In Lagos, in Ibadan, in Nnewi, everywhere all over Nigeria then, especially all over the southern Nigeria. You will see them speak our language. You will see them preach in a bus. Yes, you will see Fulani where they preach with Bible inside bus. But these days, it can't be like say you never really lived or experienced them. Hello, if you're from Buhari oni kure. And then all of the jihadists they brought upon us. It's unfortunate. It can never, that trust that has been broken, it can never be amended anymore. It cannot be mended anymore. Unfortunately, I just thought I should put that there. Today, I saw the news, 29,000 or 26,000 Yorubas. I was like, I'm sure you get. We know they have done us a lot of damages, but 29,000 people to take it, and then that kind of a flew over this Ronuku's head. They scream on social media. Tipnubu supporter, when he saw the news, this was his reaction.
What the fuck is going on this place? I am Yoruba. I'm saying with all sense of responsibility and beyond what it is. It's like the same thing during the Civil War. Last time I heard 80 million people had died. Do you know what it means to kill over 1 million people? Wiping 1 million people of the senses? Where are the graves? Did they eat all of them? Did they eat their bones? Over today, you still see the bones. In Rwanda, when they did that genocide, you could still find the bones. You could still find the fucking bones. Where are the bones? Let's even say it's 19,000. Then where are the graves? Where are the graves? They say Nigerians are most intelligent. Even if you're not in Nigeria, they say people within this geographical space that we call Nigeria today, whether you identify as Nigerian or Biafra, they say that we are intelligent. We win awards all over the world. And you are coming to say that approximately, mathematical, you didn't say maybe. You said approximately, meaning that means you did a mathematics. You went to go and look for data. You went to go to police report, calculated, added on 29,000 specifically Yoruba people, not Nigerians alone, across all the ethnic divides were murdered by Fulani headsmen. All of them are Fulani. Boko Haram is from the northeast. They're Kanuri. They're fucking Kanuri. They're Kanuri. And IPOB is an offshoot of Boko Haram, a splinter cell of Boko Haram.
Why is he so mad? Okay, fine. This, I don't believe this figure. I mean, like, I don't know, like, when did they kill 29,000 Yorubas and all of that? This is an exaggeration, Charade. Something like that. But you won't get, you can actually have a cardiac arrest. It's like somebody went inside your house, right? On the scream at his own phone on social media where they have a space. They call it space. Everybody will react. You go talk, I go talk, this one go talk. Imagine being in your house. You are screaming like that. Even your neighbor will say, again. They can't open the window, can't see you with your phone. They scream. Because they feel like if you say that, you are kind of spoiling Tifnumbu's name. Kiludi. Imagine you just scream inside your house like that. And then just you can't die. Just because you are a Ronuku that believes that anybody that says something like that is just to spoil the name of APC. Or to make Tifnumbu look bad. Imagine you can't get cardiac arrest. Heart attack. Boom. Can't die. I don't understand though. Here is another thing that I found. Do you all remember that video of that young man and that young lady? The young man that, tied the hands and legs of that young lady in an hotel. And they got caught. Well, you know what he said? Finally, when he was paraded yesterday, he said, if I wanted her dead, she would be long dead. You won't even see me or see her.
How old are you?
30.
Can you explain it? What do you do for a living?
I'm an artist. I say artworks.
Come again?
I'm an artist. I say artworks.
Your
victim said you asked her if she's afraid of death
you attempted to strangle
Okay,
her.
Do you
have any
intention of killing her?
If I wanted to kill her, I would have killed her before they came inside. So I don't kill. I'm not a killer. If I wanted to kill her, she would have been dead before they brought me back to the hotel. So my intention was not to kill her. I'm not a killer. I've never killed before. I just wanted to take her phone.
But you asked her a question. You asked her if
Okay. When the girls come, I sack them and talk fear into them so they'll be afraid. I don't owe weapons, guns or anything to threaten them. So I have to psych them psychologically and talk fear into them so they would feel like I'm not alone, or something to just make them be afraid. Yeah.
So why did you choose this path?
I didn't choose this path. I found myself, and I made a mistake.
So how do you feel now?
And how many of these girls have you done this to? How many
said
girls
4.
have you done this to?
She has answered all.
When did you start the business?
I said last month.
Last month. And are your parents alive?
I'm not really close.
Huh?
I'm not really in.
Nigeria, they have this way of asking questions that even you wait a listen, you'll be like, what kind of dumb book question? Well, it's Nigeria. And finally, I saw this man ranting by the roadside. I am yet to know why. I just thought I should share it with you. Why is he rant? What's going on, man? Hey.
President should also have respect for my feeling. I am an Ijaw man. If the president chose Wike and refused to show respect for my feeling, then if it happened, he should not call me. I stood by him. I will continue to pay, but there will be a point when I will have to choose between my people and my friends. Fubra is a no-go area. Fubra are giving me money. You can go and say it. And why are majority of the politicians elected to follow Wike? Because now weekend I they give money back and then Fubra are there like Akagom. So if me I choose Akagom, I leave POS Africa. It shows what it means. We can POS Africa. What line they give? You know they look back. How they not go give? We was saying money now. It's gone around. The president.
You get that now. So he's raging because he believes that Tifnumbu will use Wike to remove Fubara, and that is a no-go area for some reason. That's why he was ranting. Asari Doku Dump or Asari Doku Pig. So, ladies and gentlemen, this is where I am going to wrap it up. I will leave the line open to see if it works this evening. If it does, now all of you have a lot to say, starting from what we did this afternoon, where Nnamdi Kanu appeared in the court and everything that happened thereafter. You will have your shot after this break. To those who are just going to go to bed, again, just make sure you like the broadcast before you leave. And to others waiting, who are still going to be here, then the line is going to be opened. I will be back in a minute or two. Thanks for your time.
Ewa.
you so much to every one of you who has been with me this far. The line is open, and I think I have my first caller on the line. I hope he's still there. Hello there.
Hello, this is Jefferson calling from Texas. I called you the other time.
Yes, sir. How are you
How you doing?
Evening?
Oh, I'm doing very great. I'm doing very, very great. In fact, I've been watching your programs for days now. You know, before the election took place, we all saw the rhetorics, you know. I mean, Obi with the Labour Party tried to bring hope to the Edolites. And usually the PDP and the APC guys, they were doing their thing. And unfortunately, as the case happens, the election went the way it went, the usual. And it's an unfortunate because it's only a fool. I'm sorry, I have to repeat this 3 times or 4 times. It's only a fool. It is only a fool. It is only a fool, and it's only a fool that will still open their 2 eyes, their 2 ears, and everything, and still go and carry their thumbprint to go and vote APC in the midst of this hardship.
Very, very, very dangerous.
Yes. Yes, you said it yesterday. They are extremely very, 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 very dangerous. Only a fool that will do that. And I'm like, I did not see what's going on. And from the analysis, you say, oh, because from the little I got, they say, oh, because they are not, maybe the Labour Party is not sharing money. Yes, I'm like, are these guys for real?
They cannot share money.
It's because they are not sharing money.
Yes.
Okay, so that means the mindset has not changed. The mindset has not changed. And I wonder what's going to happen now, because the state of the poll is that, in fact, the state of Edolites is, I don't know what to say, because now in the mind of Tinubu, he has captured Edo State, or they have captured. But the question is, what next? What next? You understand? Nothing to show for it. And now, like you said, even with the case of Nnamdi Kanu, I believe the federal government is playing with fire, you know, because now they have been keeping him. Buhari kept him for so long, and now they are still keeping him. They have kept
him now for over 3 years. And when he was asked today that if this whole thing have to start all over again and he has to extend to 4 years, it was like, well, they can keep me for 5, 6 years for as long as they want. You know, I've been in detention for more than 5 years already. So what is going to be like for another 5?
Exactly. So they have kept him, and right now nothing to show for it. And the judiciary that just moved around like nothing. Yeah, that doesn't matter. They are just playing fire, because if they don't do something, it's going to escalate. It's going to turn into something else. It's going to turn into something else. Because there's absolutely no jurisdiction. And like you said, it's foolish people has been ones. I don't know how we can change this. I wish there was a way out. And of course, I wish there was a way out, because right now our generation can only do better if we say no to the continuity of foolishness. You know. The solution is not far from us.
Some people said that maybe people just have to suffer like they've never suffered before they will really come back to those who survive will come back to their senses. I was like, but these people suffering are not just the foolish people. Even the innocent, intelligent people are caught up in the whole melee, in the whole mess as we speak.
Exactly. I've had situations, I've had engagement in the past where even people that are so-called learned, they felt, oh, the way the PC was going was good and everything. Oh, and all the past government. Look, to be honest with you, you're right. To be honest with you, not as if they are saints anyway. They all have their issues. Obasanjo tried, even as crazy as Yar'Adua in his own madness, he tried. In fact, to me, I feel Obasanjo, Yar'Adua, and even as crazy as Jonathan, they tried because they were trying to ensure that the government is sustainable and we go to the next level. These guys, they claim they came to bring change. Unfortunately, nothing to show for it. Now, it's not even about APC or this thing, but we need a sustainable country. And today, when I was even checking the exchange rate, I just realized now that 1 billion naira is not even up to $10 million anymore. And people think it's okay. People think it's okay. You know,
let's do the math. $1 million right now is 166 million naira. So 166 million naira times maybe 5 or 6, right? That means $6 million will give you 1 billion naira max. 6 million.
Exactly. How many Nigerians can even see that kind of money?
But politicians can see it so freely, and they can spend it so brazenly.
Exactly.
With no consequences.
And they have been borrowing and borrowing and borrowing. And you showed us a video concerning the what they call it, the former, the current CBN governor. With due respect, I said a drunkard Soludo, even if he's a drunkard, even though he doesn't know what he's doing, it's far more sensible.
You know, that's the one that is that we thought was the worst central bank governor Nigeria ever had, right? Until this guy came.
Exactly. And even this guy, what's his name that during Jonathan's time? This guy during Jonathan's time was even still intelligent. This one, I don't even know where this one is coming from.
I tell you.
Within 1 year, everything has changed overnight. And then look at the analysis he's saying. He was telling us that, that time is a monolithic economy that who
brought him up to exchange rates? Was it not them?
Exactly. They are the ones that did everything. They are the ones that caused all this problem.
Thank you so much.
So I wish I could talk more, but I have to leave. It's unfortunate where we find ourselves. I wish the best, bro.
And you too.
Yeah,
thank you so much for stopping by. Okay, you have a good one, sir. Now it is a situation whereby they are overrated clowns. Starting from Tifnumbu, there were educated people that said Tifnumbu has been dreaming of becoming president of Nigeria for 28 years. So, if somebody has been dreaming to be president of a country for 20-something years, he can't become the president, and within a year, the entire thing don't turn on his head. What does that tell you? Educated people said he had eyes for discovering talents. Now, they started appointing the talents. Look at the talents, and look what the talents have done to Nigeria and Nigeria economy. Hello? Hello there. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Grand. Sir, I believe that's Solomon. We are probably, talking for the first time, are we?
This is like my second or third time calling in on the show.
Oh, brilliant, man. How are you then?
Fine, thank you very much.
Plastic.
With the current situation of the country, we are all witnessing Nigeria turning into North Korea 2.0. Either we will see these people's family take over the country, or the country will turn into a one-party system. You go online, you still see people still shouting, oh, Yoruba this, oh, Igbo this. Just nonsense conversation while the country is turning upside down. And the people of Nigeria seem to be helpless. There's nothing they can do. Even though some of them contribute to the situation, some of them don't even understand the situation that they are in. Maiyegun, I want to ask you a question and your opinion. We understand that, yes, Nnamdi Kanu may have gone about it in the wrong way, but it was the first time in decades when Nigerians actually felt they have some type of power against the criminals in power. We in diaspora, we are all thinking the same thing. There's no election we want to do. There's nothing we want to do. There's no negotiation. These people have to be taken out.
I agree.
We all know this. We all know this is the only way. We in the diaspora have the funds. We in the diaspora can come together and fight these people from the diaspora. So what is stopping us? Because if we enter that country, they have all the power, but they have no jurisdiction. They have no power over us outside the country. We are the only ones that know and see the truth that people in Nigeria cannot see. I believe one way or the other, we have to continue from where Nnamdi Kanu stopped. The only person, the only Nigerian that this government has ever feared in this past decade was Nnamdi Kanu, because he was able to fight them from outside the country. If at least 1,000 of us could fight these officials the same way Nnamdi Kanu was fighting them, will wipe these people out, because they need to be wiped out from local government level all the way up to presidential level. We need to take these things seriously. We need to stop treating them like human beings. We need to treat them like the monsters they are. We see them abroad, we smile with them, we shine teeth with them, we play with them, we still respect them, we still call them our... No, they are demons, devils in human clothing. We need to wipe these people out. They need to be wiped up off the face of the earth. There is nobody that will disagree right now if we need to start funds to gather to get weapons to wipe these people out. These people should not be on the face of the earth. They are going to turn Nigeria into North Korea 2.0, and there is nothing the people in Nigeria can do about it. We are the only ones that can stop them, and they know this. We abroad, we need to mobilize, we need to come together. There is no, oh, only Igbo man can save Nigeria, oh, only Yoruba man can. So they are all criminals from the north to the east to the west to the south. We all know that.
I agree.
We are all smart enough, we are all civilized. You can say, okay, the people in Nigeria.
What really sort of jolt me is that we have these Nigerians who are like experts in so many fields, right? Including professionals who can really, enter these guys, hack into their space, get to know what they are doing, when they are doing them, and all of that. But unfortunately, we are not coordinated. You get what I mean?
It's not,
because there are so many ways to fight these people, even without actually really, using a gun to start with. For example, if you have people who are like technological service, right? Who can actually trace these guys with all the loot they are moving here and there. There are people who have their capacity, but that they are not interested is what I don't know. For example, you know somebody who is moving a lot of money from his state, a state governor, and you have the capacity to track them, hack their phones and all of that, know what they are doing, and then just make all those loot disappear, right? Like make something, make them kind of like lose a lot that they would never imagine, right? And then you can fight them with different things like a cyber warfare, technological warfare, but we are not coordinated, and that's our weak point, unfortunately.
Maiyegun, I was even surprised when before Tinubu came in, I was hearing some Yoruba people say, "Oh, this one, you are tribalistic. Oh, Fulani this, Igbo this." The moment Tinubu entered, these people started supporting every evil Tinubu. I saw Yoruba people who were saying, "Oh, this one is tribalistic." They now became tribalistic by God.
And now, so you remember when they said they want to do the end bad governance?
Than the Igbo people that they're insulting. They were even worse.
They said they want to do end bad governance. This one, a recent one, last month. And the same people that were shouting Yoruba nation, you know them, Abi. So they were shouting Yoruba, including this Akintoye that just said they've killed 29,000 Yorubas, okay? And their camp, including Igbo, right? Suddenly they said Yorubas should not join them to do any protest too. Because now the Igbo people, they won't do protest. I was like, what? Then one of them, Shoko, Koike or something, came on the air and said, it doesn't give a damn about any Igbo. The Igbo people just want to destroy Nigeria because of Tinubu. I was like, oh, you love him now? And they went on to attack me, attack my personality, and all of that stuff. I was like, wow. So yeah, it's unfortunate that majority of them are actual pretenders. It's unfortunate again, okay, that we befriended some of them, only to now discover that they are just closet bigots that will do anything, as long as they can get called to the table for their own, for their own little share. And then they started attacking anybody who stand up against the same Tifnumbu. So it is complicated in this regard. It shouldn't be, but it is.
Very unfortunate. A lot of Yoruba people disappointed me. I said, you that you were insulting, you that you were insulting Igbo people, you are doing the same exact thing. You are doing the same exact thing. And they will not start demanding for respect. And we should respect them because they are elders. Elders that never fought for anybody except for them in their lives. Elders that they will say, oh, I'm defending the Yoruba name, but you see Yoruba people begging.
Yes,
you see Yoruba people suffering. You see Yoruba people causing the desert. You will pretend that you don't know. You will pretend like you don't see them. You are not fighting for me. You are fighting for your ego. You are fighting for yourself. You are not fighting for me as a Yoruba man. You are only fighting for your ego. You are not fighting for me. You are a tribalistic bigot. You are not an elder. You are a self-centered.
And you do not deserve anybody's respect. The moment you
don't deserve my respect. You don't deserve my respect. Who have you ever fought for? What Yoruba man have you ever fought for in your life? Nobody except yourself.
No. They scream when Buhari was there. Now, Tifnubu is there. They're now telling us to kind of like, we shouldn't do like that. We should not join all these Igbo people to be criticizing Tinubu. It's like, are you mad? Like, are you actually mad? Yorubas are going through hell. The first set of people to scream hunger under a Yoruba president, they are Yorubas. And yet, you want them to keep quiet because the person there is a Yoruba man now. So, everybody is hearing. And in time, right? Akerebe, Ajuwe, Bitoma Fokusilon, you get them with time. Yes. Baba, thank you so much. Okay, let me take another one.
All right. Bye.
Brother. You see, there are so many of us who knows that we can't be swayed by this deceit, especially if you really want to be honest with yourself, right? The people that are suffering in Nigeria today, they are not limited to non-Yorubas, okay? Everyone, they collect as we speak. But when people begin to tell you to turn it down, don't let all these people, you know there is a Yoruba man, and we all know that Nigeria is already spoiled. Buhari don't spoil Nigeria. Let us just give him a small time. Give him small time so that we can And when people like us says, they will come for us. They will say we are Omoale. Imagine somebody calling me Omoale because of Tifnubu. We don't know him, Papa. We don't know him, Mama. Or he denied them. To their death, he denied them. I know my mom. I know my dad. I know my grandparents. I know from both sides. I can count more than 20, 30 of my family members who are like bloodline. Tifnubu can't count any. He is the bastard that the Alatenujes, the Ronukus, they want to put on those Omoko. They were calling them Omoali. It's unfortunate too. Hello there.
Hello, Maiyegun Baba.
Hey, Ahmed.
Yeah.
And now only.
Lafia Kalau ya yoni.
Ali Abdullah. Lafia Kalau.
Ya gida ya jin daɗi.
Lafia Kalau as well.
To barkan kare.
Ya aiki, ya mata, ya gida.
Alhamdulillah. Komai lafiya lau.
Alhamdulillah. As well. Mandala. Please.
Yawa. Maiyegun, you see, regarding what the last caller said, I mean, what I am thinking is, like you said, if there are people that can hack into their system, that, I believe if there are people that can like try to, get information of their schedule whenever they go abroad and stuff like that, we can start from there. You know what these people fear the most is when people in diaspora disgrace them, put it on social media. That thing, they really touch them. Imagine what they do, this Olobuku, this man from Oshun, where they run around. So if we not begin to share updates, hey, this person they come out to so place, so yeah, we'll go reach them. If I don't know where they land. Anywhere where you did, just take time, go make you go visit them, put them for camera, put them for social media.
And if you know people them by your name, right? Post it anonymously.
Make we go. More go visit them. Go find time, visit them, reach their place, put them for they fear camera. You see this phone, they fear this phone. Where you see so they fear them no be small. So by the time you begin post everything like that, you they insult them, they see there are people where they for house they see as they embarrass them now and then. People will be say that if you say, I can't say anything, you know what made them lock you? You can't see the way that they embarrass them for here. That respect,
the way they beat up Ekweremadu. He ran like a criminal. He ran around. He was looking for somebody. It was other people that tried to save him and say, come here, man. Even at the point there, some people actually felt for him. I didn't have any feeling for him, you know.
Maiyegun, if those things happen more often, all these criminals are being disgraced and useless abroad. They can't see them. They go understand, say these people, they are nothing. They are nothing. Complete cowards. They are all bunch of cowards.
That's right.
Now only the security we did around them, now they make them irrelevant. So when we begin to do those kind of things, they put them often every day videos of this person, like the way this Olobuku go abroad when they want to do protest or Jews or Kalu. If people be nowhere in day, more go live in place. Say make people with the Maryland, may they look for them, visit them, disgrace them, put them for social media. Any one of them, maybe they do them like that. So when they post and make people for Nigeria, they say, see the Olori Bruku on the hill. See, I'm here. We will disgrace them here until we begin to degrade those people. Make the people where they are, they see they are nothing. Make we bring out they see them.
Imagine people they will see them come from graduation of their children. They could still they take their picture. Some of them want to take picture with them. Bioli and the rest. They always come abroad. They all do all the time.
They always come. So you guys are taking pictures with them and you still complain. You are the ones that are not ready. It's ready. Look, you might be in your comfort doing all that and you still sit down and complain until the day you start helping, when you see them, because nobody is going to say anything to you. You're abroad, you're in a land that knows freedom. So nobody's going to stop you in public. You can video anybody you want to video. Go send it to Bella to stop it. And if they hold you, say they won't touch you. What touch you? What touch the problem here? If they touch you, they touch problem, because for their police if you knock a man off, come out, I send your papa and say, kilo come pay you be honorable from anywhere. Kilo come. You hold somebody which you are not supposed to. If you video them back. Now do me, I do. If you do, you saying come on video, the video, you video them back. So when people start to do that, we show these people back home, say these people, they are nothing. Find every means to useless them, every means to rubbish them. Then when people with their don't come, they see, or maybe that one will be another stepping point to use. If not, people for waiting for us still they look this way, say, these are honorable, this can you continue? So me, I don't talk more. Me, I don't promise you. Any day we jam any one of them. Whether I go do I go use different language. My useless, I go do them for us, I go do them for you. But language my useless here. I'll come put and make one say this one now Konko. If they hear Konko for us, empty barrel Konko, everything that they call them, they don't get nothing. Nothing we didn't get. Now only waiting me I won't add be that and me a lot of people,
right? And I hope people listening know they do understand what this simply means. You may be doing this, you may be doing the clan, you may be doing us a great deal of favor if you actually take this upon yourself. And if you can't do it because you probably don't have it in you, then just let us know that they are around social place. I barely hear that. People barely tell me where they are. If I find any of them in my own city, I'll just grab my camera as usual and my selfie stick. I'll drive down there, right? And make a show or make a scene. Ahmed, God bless you, Baba. Let me take another one. So, you see, I have another caller. Here we go. Hello.
Hello, Baba Maiyegun. Good evening.
Good evening, sir.
How are you doing, sir?
I am very well, Baba. Yourself?
I'm good. My name is John Eze, calling from Boston, United States of America.
John Eze from Boston. Thank you so much for calling in, Baba, please.
Long time.
I know. It's been a while.
I have been listening to your program. First of all, let me ask you a question. How is your family doing and how is your health?
Well, I think on the health part, it's improving. I went to see my GP today and they did some pressing and they were like, oh, your wound healed so fine. I said, oh, okay, I'm going back to the gym tomorrow. As for the family, we are thanking God. And thanks for asking.
Thank you.
Yes,
As usual, first, before I go to my message, let me bless you.
Please.
It shall be well with you. May the Lord keep you and strengthen you.
Amen.
May your good work be never be in vain. In the name of Chukwukikabema, we pray. You say? Let me go to your message. First, I want to let you know that the election they did in Edo State, you see these people where they shout, me now, me now, me now. They go cry. They go cry.
It's just a matter of time.
I give them, you know, go reach 2 months. They go begin the course, they cry. You see what in APC we don't do for Niger, what in APC have done to them. They shall live and see what APC have done to them. I'm not praying that they will die. You see these people with the pamper,
to reap waiting them so.
These people with the pamper this evil then entity. With the pamper them, they help them to achieve their murderers, to achieve their wickedness. At the end, they are the people who go cry. First, you go back to the president of Nigeria, where live in seat, go for Edo, say, Edo people, what do you want? I will give you Edo back. Edo will regret. Then go no say APC come to destroy. The only thing I want to tell them is, when you live truth, you see truth, you tie truth, throw away for bush, go pick liar, come. When you see waiting come past liar, you go no. So it is them for Edo. It's unbelievable that people where they rule us, they don't think.
They don't have
What
to, they don't care.
What life? How will I make my people be proud? How will I make my people to have health care? How will I make my people to have running water? How will I make my people to have education? How will I better life of my people? That is not their agenda.
Not their priority.
It's not their priority. So you go waste your time. They give you 5,000 naira. You vote for them. They enter office. That 5,000.
Abi, but what about those of you who actually really went there and gave? Come on, enablers.
Those 5,000 naira what they give you, you go vote for them. You go pay them times 24. You go even begin to say, why would I do this to myself? So we even say would they leave the rating, they pursue shadow. Would they leave the thing we're supposed to do? We're supposed to join hands together and fight. We are now leaving it to pursue shadow. Now, I don't know what to say to Edo people. They have given it to APC. They will see how APC will do to them. That is all I have to say in that aspect. Then in second aspect is about Onyundu. Ohamadike 1.
Bless you.
Maze Nnamdi Kanu. The only man who stands
last man standing.
Last man standing. And stand against injustice. What he need is fairness. Treat everybody equal.
Yes.
Develop what God has given to us. Make it to be active. Make what God gives to us. Make it happening. Do something that God have given us. Use it to provide something. I was speaking to somebody today from airport. I tell one of my friends, I say, this contract you see they give them now, it's not going to pass the deadline they give this contract. They must make sure that before the end deadline of this contract, this work have get done. And the man turn around and say, okay, what I mean? I say, you see this contract, we didn't give these people now for this airport. He say, the day when they go open this thing, you know, go in that day, you know, go pass. Right. Before that day, say they don't finish them. So that they will go another place.
Check, do everything,
that
and
is,
open up to the public.
That is it. So I keep saying this. If we want new Nigeria, people want to still believe in that country. First of all, I don't believe that it's gonna work.
Not this way.
Because not this way.
No.
How is it going to work? Is to carry somebody who does nothing, a prisoner of conscience, lock up because of he tell you what you are doing. In open mouth to tell you the wrong, the evil you are doing. You don't supposed to do that to your own people.
No.
That is only what this man said. This man no shoot nobody, no gun. This man no shoot nobody, no arrow.
No.
This man no match nobody.
No.
It's only word. To
And
make
in word
your
too,
people
in word
proud.
too sharp, in word too out, that in word this scatter country. That's why they have to keep him short and lock him up. How?
Totally. May they release this man, may this man go. If they not go release this man can be able to stay there. He can't stop Biafra agitation. Mazen Nnamdi Kanu cannot stop Biafra agitation.
He told them.
He cannot stop.
As long as the marginalization, the injustice, and all of that continues, right? Even if you kill me, it won't stop Biafra. Can't they see it? He told them.
Totally. Baba Maiyegun. A man of God said he will not enter plane to go to United Kingdom. You will not enter aeroplane or ship to United Kingdom.
You just I
want to ask you a question. So you don't enter ship, you don't enter plane. How will you go to United Kingdom, Baba? Now the question I want to ask, I want to make you answer me before I go to answer you,
Sir John. And thank you so much. Yeah, let him answer us.
You won't need a car to travel. You won't need an aeroplane to travel. You will just say, I want to go to London. And you'll be in London. Whether you believe it or not, the time is coming when you won't need
the fraudster, Iroboye, was he was saying, highlighting from a chopper, but the mumus, the zombies from the RCCG, the evil-minded, some of them are evil-minded. Every time they hear me talk about Adeboye, they always run, they go run mad, they wish me evil. I can't ask them, which Jesus will they follow? Because I don't understand this, your Jesus. Your Jesus will say, anybody will say something about Adeboye, una go begin to wish them evil. May something happen to them. Watch your mouth. Watch your mouth, Maiyegun. Don't let God destroy you. I say, oh, God, yeah, and you and your sky daddy. At Adeboye, no. Here, hello.
One name.
That's me. Osita. We drag you out this evening.
You know, great. And how is the family? How is
we are good. We are kind of surviving, though. And how is yours?
Yeah, it's all good. Just
fantastic. Here. So there are sometimes that you just can't look away. You always say, man, I'm going to add something to this. And people do miss you, though. I feel that people have not started asking, where is Osita? So here is Osita.
Yeah. You know, what happened last week in Nigeria is they were testing the mic. In the sense that they used Edo State as an experiment.
Okay, what are you
It
going
happened yeah, it happened in Imo State as well because
it happened in Kogi as well, remember?
Yeah, because in Imo State they had the same day of that election in Edo State. They had their local government or local council elections.
Yes, they did.
And in that local council election you're seeing in Imo State, what happened is that he called them. This is from a reliable source. A cousin of mine who is a politician. He called all of them and told them that, look at the number of people that got the form. That each local government, over 30 people wants to become the councillor and the chairman and all that. That he doesn't want people to start killing themselves for no just reason, and therefore they're going to give them back their money and the money they've spent. That he wants to present a consensus candidate. So if you look at what happened in that state, in Imo State, it was all APC all through.
Yes.
So now they are testing the mic with what happened there and what happened in what has happened in Edo State,
including that of Kwara. People were deceived to go and participate in a local government election that the result has been written already. And they started announcing them.
Yeah. So what they did is that they are testing the mic. I love the previous caller, the last caller. I love everything he said. But the truth that Edo people didn't choose APC. They didn't. Because you look at the number of accredited voters and you look at the result sheet, you will see arithmetically it didn't tally.
No.
What those guys they did there was they collected the money because they knew that the vote is not going to count.
Wow.
And because of people are hungry, they needed to collect that money. So once a society has been diluted with hunger,
this much,
you understand, they are lost. Because whatever you're doing in life, your belly is. People used to think that it is your senses, your head that gives you that directs the course of your life. It's a lie. What directs the course of your life from the beginning is your belly. The moment you are hungry, the senses you have on your skull is no longer working. It's the one that is in the belly.
The neurons there are no longer connecting. So they're like, you are not, you remember Snickers adverts? I don't know if that's the same in America. The Snickers chocolate advert in the UK says, you are not you when you are hungry.
So what you are seeing is that they are testing the mic. Buhari said from top to bottom, that it is going to be all APC. So at the end of the day, after Buhari left, somebody came, the druggie came and said that it is go to court. So, my brother, they have put all their...
People actually have no say. The only thing is that they can pay few people money to make it look like they are bribing everybody for the vote. The real thing is written, not by their votes.
It's not by their vote. So what I am trying to say is that Edo never made any choice here. Their choice don't count.
They made it for
them. What they are telling everybody is go to court. So what I am seeing, the only way we can react is that we do not participate in this in anything called election.
Let them keep writing it.
Yes, let them keep writing it, because I am not going to go there or ask somebody to go and vote, and that person will receive slap from either the area boy or from the police, and at the end of the day, his vote is not counting. It doesn't make any sense. So it's better the person don't even go at all. You shun the vote. And really, frankly speaking, Nigeria that you are seeing, You always say it, and everybody that has his normal senses will know that that's the truth. Nigeria, to survive, has only one option. If Nigeria has to survive, you remove the power from the center. Let the regions or the states govern themselves. Then things can start crawling back. But I am telling you that is going to take ages because it's not going to happen. So the best thing for us, as we are, that we are living today, break off this thing and let everybody go and manage their challenges, tackle their problems.
Sink
so
or
that
sail, drown or
so
swim. Let them go find out themselves and leave themselves out of this shared mystery.
Yes. So that somebody is not going to come tomorrow and say, oh, it is the Yoruba man that is causing my problem. It is the Igbo man that is causing my problem. It is the Hausa man that is causing my problem. The Fulani man is causing. Now we can manage ourselves. We can be able to say the truth, because right now, even when we are talking, the other person that is your opponent is seeing you that you are lying. He doesn't trust you. So where people are not trusted, I am telling you, we have to be very careful. And lastly, because normally I've been watching your program and all this thing and all that. You know, when they talk about the American election, which I keep telling people, do not put your mouth in an American election because you do not pay your taxes here. The reason I am saying this thing is that, do you see this? Let me connect something here. The bigotry that you are seeing all over the world, I am telling you, if you look at that bigotry, it all started between 2014 and 2015. And that journey, that thing started with Donald Trump. America, either we like it or not, America is the beacon of that their world, that thing they call their democracy, which is not working in Africa. Now, when a man stands there and say all the bigot, this thing that can come out from his mouth, remarks that can come out from his mouth, both in action, I tell you something that happened around the world. Other populists who doesn't have a voice was now looking at it and said, oh, if the beacon of the democracy, the free world, that person, the leader of that free world, he can behave this way, he can talk this way. Why won't I talk this way? And when you look at it, it is happening in Europe, it's happening in Asia, it's happening in South America, it is happening here in America, it is happening in Africa, it is happening in Nigeria. He connected all these things that you are looking at. So, my brother, I tell people, be careful of what you wish for.
That's
because we Nigerians especially will have one particular problem in this world. The moment this thing they call Buga, that word Yoruba called Buga, we like it very well amongst us. Some of us will not accept it. But because some of us will come here, they go to UK, they become UK citizens. They use the British passport. They go to Canada, they use the Canadian passport. They come to America, they use the American passport, Australia, every other places. The moment they get it, they don't want their brother to have it.
Yeah.
They think they are more better. They don't want their brother to have it. And I tell somebody, in Dr. Damage's show, I was there, and I told them that you people will be here. You'll be supporting Trump, but you're condemning Kalu in Nigeria. They stand for the same thing. Divide and rule. So that is what we are.
Thank you,
You've always said it. You've always hammered on it. All of us, we like, the average Nigerian would like our own criminal because of differently.
We all have our biases and all that. And it can,
thank you very much.
It oozes from wherever we actually project, as much as we try to hide it too, right? Osita, thank you.
Thank you very much.
Okay, I will take another one here.